Hello, Pactioneers. This is the Pack Action Podcast. I'm your host, Hilda, and I'm joined with my other hosts. Hello.
I'm your host, Bertie. There's a T in there. You got to pronounce it. Next.
Come on, it's like our 100th episode.
It's me, KK Slider. Welcome to the Pack Attack Action.
And I'm Luna, joining you on the Pack Action Podcast.
The world's longest running dog flesh and blood podcast ever. Hello, Attactioneers. Welcome to the 100th episode of the Attack Action Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Morrow, and I've been really into digital minimalism.
Well, I'm your host, Colin Honigman, and I'm really into putting all my shit into boxes.
My name is Blake Meyer. Let's go.
And my name is Zane Johnson, and we're going to teach you how to count to 100 today.
Hey. Let's go. Welcome. It's the very 100th episode.
The only.
Yeah, so don't fuck it up. This is the only one we get.
Fuck.
Pressure's on. Also, our freaking dogs hijacked our podcast. I apologize. They've
That was
always
crazy.
wanted to be on.
Who
and
knew
we
that
might
that's
leave
what
it
they
in.
do when we're not around?
That our dogs are best friends too?
It's crazy. I mean, I'm just proud of them for knowing how to work all the, technology and shit. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
They have to send their episodes to Greg's dog.
Yeah,
Shout out to Greg's dog who edits their podcast.
Yep. So we've done it. 100 episodes, 100 years of the podcast.
Yeah, we do one episode a year.
Yeah.
Centennial.
We're vampires and we never age. I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who's been here from episode 1 to episode 100. Anybody who's checking in for the first time and everybody in between. It means a lot to all of us. It's just pretty crazy to get to do this and have people like it. And in a world where you have to make stuff the way the robots want you to make stuff, podcasting is still kind of the free space in which you can be kind of creative and still have people find it fucking web 1.0. Yeah, organically, that's the right word. And so it's just great to have you here, get to participate in that. And thank you to you guys also, my co-hosts. It's a joy to do this with you every month. So yeah. And lastly, big shout out to Isaac. He can't be here with us anymore, so it's fine. He's not dead.
Okay. He's okay.
He's fine.
Oh, okay,
He's fine.
okay.
He's fine. But he's just not here. But he, started the podcast with me, and we wouldn't be here without him. So shout out to him.
Hell yeah. Isaac,
He's
if you're
putting
listening,
fires out somewhere else.
shout the Attack Action Podcast at the fire, and it may go out.
It's also weird too. I don't know, maybe we cut this out, but I was on Facebook randomly and a picture of Isaac popped up on my feed that's not from him or anybody I know, but it's Fire Academy stuff with somebody else I went to high school with, but they're in two separate photos with a person I don't know. And they were just on my feed. And then he texted my wife that he ran into someone she knows. And then that was like it. And so I personally haven't heard from him. So he's alive and doing well, it seems like. Hanging out with other people we went to high school with.
Wow.
And not me.
He just did his 100th Fire podcast, probably.
That'd be crazy.
Hanging out with people I went to high school with, because that would be weird. Let me know.
That would be weird. All right. So what we got going on for this podcast, we're just going to tell you up front. We have a number of segments where we're going to talk about stuff, but then we're going to do lists of 5 things, 5 lists of 5 things, a number of times to where it equals 100 or not. And then the episode will be over. And so that's what you got to look forward to, is a bunch of lists of stuff. And they're
I work in finance. I've counted it. We're good.
Yeah. We've crunched the numbers.
Yeah. I think we're over, but I don't know. But anyway, doesn't matter.
If you count and let us know that you counted, we'll thank you for that.
We'll thank you for it. Let's first do our normal stuff. So let's talk about our life and that sort of thing. I've been talking a lot. Colin, you tell me about your boxes and the stuff that goes in them.
Well, I found a guy on Craigslist just giving boxes away. So I said, "Hey, sir, let me come over to your house and take these boxes." And on the way there, I called my wife and said, if I don't come home, it's because I went to a weird guy's house to get some free boxes, which made her upset. So I had to calm her down and then tell her that when I got there, the guy looked totally normal and I saw all the boxes and it was, line of sight to the street. It was all good. So we got some free boxes. That's step 1. Step 2, take everything I own and put them in those boxes, which, as you can tell, I've made quite a dent. So we're doing well. If you're listening, you'll just have to believe that the books that are normally behind me are still there.
There's maybe more somehow. Like you found some in a pile and we're like, I can't put these in this box. I'll put them here.
I shifted them up. Yeah, I had to get them off the floor so I get them on the shelf. That way I know where they are and I can put them in a box next. So,
but Colin, you're going to be so
when's
good
your
at
garage
taking stuff
sale?
out of boxes as a TCG player.
That's true.
You've practiced opening. Now you're going to just crush it. You've been training.
When's the garage sale where there's a random Mark Poole print that I can snipe for only $65?
I'll let you know. It's not soon. That's for sure. I am not sorting. I am just stuffing everything in boxes. We're moving out in like 2 weeks. I did get internet set up at my new house. It's even better than my internet here. So we're going to live that gigabit fiber internet life, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, we've been doing some. We painted the laundry room. We had our first meal there with a couple, with my parents and then a couple of their friends who they invited. And I was like, okay, I guess this is what's going to happen now that
this is my new life.
My parents, they're going to invite their friends to my house. And that's fine. It was lovely to see them, and we had fish and chips that was good and much cheaper than they would be in LA. So we're already getting those returns on this move. So it's looking good. We're very excited. Birdie has been running around in her backyard and fucking loves it. She doesn't know what to do. She tries to run one way and then decides to go the other way, like mid gallop, and is just flopping around and is loving it. So
great.
Give me great space for all you guys to come hang out. You guys meaning my co-host. Sorry, not the listeners. Maybe some of the listeners. Depends on how well we actually know each other.
We're in talks to get Hype House 2025 there. I think.
Just at my house. Yeah,
go ahead and send your payment to.
I'll go. You can help me pay my mortgage.
That's good. Monthly Hype House
idea.
now.
Yeah. The Calling Honigman. Love it.
Oh, I like that. AGE draft 2025 February, Collins house and driveway.
It's gonna be tight. We'll do it like in the alley and the garage. It'll be fine. No one's gonna run over us. It'll be great. All right, that's me. Otherwise, I'm chilling. Work. Everyone went out for all the jobs we prepped for last month, so they're all gone. And I was just like chilling at work today, just doing shit I wanted to do. So that's great. So now I have time to focus on like important things like the podcast and moving.
In that order.
In that order. Obviously. I'm not packing right now.
As it should be.
Blake, how are you?
I had a jam-packed weekend of stuff that was not Fab related. It was crazy. We had a Dodgers game where we sent home the Padres with nothing going on in their lives good. That was just shellac. And then the Saturday was OU weekend, which is always terrifying for Longhorns fans. But then Longhorns shellacked OU and they didn't even score a single touchdown. And then Sunday I was so tired. I slept all day somehow. And there was the Big Brother finale, which the person who won Big Brother probably is one of the top 3 players of all time. So that was interesting to see them play all summer long. Wrapped up that Big Brother podcast. And then the Dodgers shellacked somebody else again, but then they lost today. So that was sports are super happening right now because it's playoffs. My birthday's next weekend. I literally need to figure something out. But between sports, it's really hard to figure out anything else. But next Saturday is also the most important football game that's going to happen for the Longhorns for the rest of the season too.
Oh, so they're not going to make the playoffs then?
For the foreseeable future. Zane, what's your college football team? I'm sure they're not number 1 right now.
How do you know?
Because that would be mine, and then we would have bonded over this 5 times by now.
I've been holding out to tell you on the 100th episode.
Oh my God!
Wait, that's today.
Texas.
I love Texas.
What about you, Zane?
Thanks, Blake. Things are, pretty good. We're gearing up for a really busy week at work. Tomorrow's going to be pretty insane. So it's the calm before the storm tonight. And then tomorrow will be, very hectic and stressful. But, glad to be here with you guys tonight ahead of that. I didn't play any FAB this last weekend, but I played 2 weekends ago and lost in the semifinals as new of a PQ. But then my prize box had Marvel Acilio.
Hey.
So we're
adult too.
The adult
That's
one.
great.
Yeah.
Dude, you're 2 for 2.
I know. Rosetta has been good to me so far. That's kind of all I've got going on right now. Just working and sleeping and thinking about the podcast more than anything.
Great. Thank you for doing that for us.
That's beautiful.
Taylor, what you got?
There are a number of things going on, or have happened. But what I alluded to in the intro is I just have really been feeling so negative about social media and phones and kind of the internet. I don't know how to explain it, I guess, other than that. I guess I can't explain it more eloquently, but I'm disingenuinized by all of this stuff. So basically, I used to really enjoy scrolling Instagram and like discovering new stuff via my like interests and people who are like creating cool things or making stuff. And that was like very different than Facebook, which was at the time like a hodgepodge of bullshit, and even not as much as it is now. But and then that has kind of gone away, and I feel like YouTube doesn't know who I am anymore either. And so they're like these things that I feel like I used to find community and be inspired by are now just giving me this kind of like flat level, like um, things they suggest to me, you know, like super surface level, nothing goes any deeper. And it's like all the same thing, you know? Like sometimes on my Instagram discover page or explore, it's like, oh, I like that photo. That looks kind of interesting. And then you can scroll it, you know, to like the next thing. And it'll be somebody I already follow. And I'm like, well, why are they here? They should be removed because I already like their stuff. I literally have liked this post. Like this is copying my homework and then showing me that you did the homework, you know? So anyway, that being said, I've like kind of switched up like how I use my phone, and I'm trying to like find healthier or different ways to use my technology, and maybe trying to use things like for dedicated stuff and not do so much on my phone and try to do more physical things. Like I'm trying to read more or, you know, be outside or etc. Like just use that phone time, you know, you have that like hour or 2 hours where you're like phoning to do something else, you know. And it just hit me today because like this morning I just kind of got carried away and was like, ooh, I haven't done this in a while, this sucks. And anyway, so like, yeah, so I've been reading about or listening to stuff about digital minimalism, where you like take your cell phone and you turn it into other objects or pare down your apps to just like super essentials and that sort of thing. And yeah.
Nice.
So I guess the last thing is I'm really contemplating. I'm also in this is a long answer, I guess. And I've gotten very hot all of a sudden, so I'm taking off my flannel. Gotten into this idea of like a dedicated music player, like an iPod or something like that, and been down that rabbit hole a little bit. What's the point I'm trying to make here is that I miss those times where you were like, hey, what's music you like? And you would share it. Like, I feel like we don't share stuff enough. You know what I mean? Not like me and you, but us as people. So I used to be cool once is what I'm saying, and had all this cool hipster music. And then now I don't. And I just listen to podcasts and I want to be cool again. So
Have you ever listened to THEDO? But there's a line through the O.
yes, I just was listening to them the other day.
So they're my favorite one that I've like done that with, because it was like they're like, Billie Eilish, what's your favorite music that's inspired you? And she was like, this album, and that album is so good. And it's the
Yeah.
Doe. I don't remember the album name,
Is
but
it
it's
the one
red and
with
white on it.
ecstasy something? So there's this one YouTube channel that does takeaway shows, and the Doe do a takeaway show. If you type that in, the DO takeaway show, it'll come up, and it's super good. And Bon Iver's on there, and the Locals, and When I Was Cool, and I listen to that stuff. Go listen to those. Those are some of the most greatest YouTube music videos ever.
Nice.
We'll put them in the link in the description if we remember. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk flesh and blood. There you go. Nobody can have any comments. Actually, you guys can comment if you want.
Yeah, I got comments.
Okay.
One, I think the good term for what you're feeling is like a sense of ennui. So that's a good It's a nice one. Look it up and try to spell it.
Watch Inside Out 2.
Exactly. But also, I've had like the same feeling lately where the number of times I pick up my phone, I started looking at the stats on my phone, and it was like 600 times a day. And I was like, that's insane that I like pick up my phone and look at it 600 times. And then I was like, what do I look at? And it's like, normally you get a notification and then you go to look at that, and then instead you look at something else, and then it's like, oh, well, I spend way too much time on Reddit, too much time on Instagram. So I moved Reddit off of my home screen. It's still installed, but it's not in its same place, so I don't just like religiously go open it. And I did that with like also the same other app that I had that I would open up and look at just endlessly. And that's helped a lot in itself.
Why didn't you name that app, Colin? What's the other app that you won't name?
It's dumb. It's the Google search app that just, I use for searching, but also it just feeds you content based on what you search on, and it's really good at it. So I've looked at it way too much and
Bing?
embarrassed. No, it's just Google. It's just called Google, which is dumb. So that's why I didn't name it. Now I have, so now you know. But I totally feel that. And like when I open up my phone, I'm like, this is like the most powerful device ever made. Its battery lasts for like a hell of a long time. I can record anything. I can contact anyone from it. And what do I do with it? I just look at endless memes and stupid shit.
And fucking ads.
And yeah, then a bunch of ads, and then you click on one ad and it's like, here's 13 ads of the same product but slightly different. You're like, that's not what I need. I need other cool things that I might want to buy, not just the same thing 20 different times. Like the algorithms have gotten like too tuned. They're too good. I was actually listening to something like Google basically made the internet this way because of how they do search and how ads work, and they're in charge of both on the internet basically. So like the internet we have now is basically because Google forced it to be this way, and it's totally fucked. So I think you're not like, alone in your feeling, and I don't know what to do about it.
Somebody who studies this was saying that like the amount of content you need to produce to get picked up by Google takes like too many people, so you just have AI bots doing it. Just like pumping out like 100 articles a day, and then so it's basically turning into robots talking to robots. Yep. You know what I mean? And eventually it'll switch to something. We'll find a nugget or somewhere where we can interact with each other, human to human, rather than robot to robot. And then the corporations will come in again and robotify that, just like they did with radio. And then our planet will be scorched earth and it won't matter. So that's the reality.
100 episodes, we did it.
Yeah, what the hell is going on? Like, I like wore a funny shirt. I like been prepping my 100 things I'm gonna say. You guys are like, I miss Blake so much after he left. I went into ennui, and I don't think I'll ever be able to replicate Blake being in my extra spare bedroom. To just walk in and ask him questions and turn him off 8 hours later.
That's all. That's what Blake heard, is that I miss Blake so much. This is why Taylor is sad, because I left and now he can't deal with it.
Definitely the first time it could be true.
Look, it's fine. We go through stuff.
We go through stuff.
We grow. We change. Speaking of change, 5 years of Flesh and Blood, 4 years of the Attack Action podcast coming together. 5 times 4 is 20. Here's 20 things I hate about Blake. No, I'm just kidding.
His left eye, his right eye, his left eyebrow, his right eyebrow.
I think, we got 5th anniversary of FAB is, I guess, right now. I don't know the exact date. It's this month. They've been doing stuff, namely listing off 5 favorite things for people on Twitter, which was our idea for this episode weeks ago, which I guess is low hanging fruit and is fine. But just another time. That
Nobody's ever had that idea twice.
look, we're
That's why I have 6 fingers on one hand and 5 on the other, just like
Exactly.
God made me.
exactly. But yeah, the biggest news coming out of the 5th anniversary is our brand new Ice and Earth Guardian, JARL. What's his last name? JARL Vitradi with a
Paul
thing through the D,
Atreides.
which I haven't seen. Yeah, exactly. It's Paul Atreides. It's the guy from Mangle, and
He's been. I think everyone has like a Guardian main in your local area that won't shut up about Guardian stuff. They are literally jumping for joy because they've always been like, wouldn't it be cool if you got a hero with him? And unfortunately, it is the coolest hero that's shown up in the last like year and a half of like, hey, everything you liked about Oldham, it's just the same shit, and it's going to be even cooler because I'm just going to break your equipment one by one and freeze you to death, you bitch. And it's like, come on, I'm trying to do new things. It's like,
What-
oh no, Frostbite literally ruins your turn. It's fine.
What I hope is that this is a Samus situation, and Jarl is a woman this whole time. And when they remove their helm, we will then know. Their armor breaks from a mangle. Anyway,
What?
you
Jarl?
know-
Yar, it would
All
be
right.
Yarla or Yarlitra.
Jarl is a title.
interesting that Jarl doesn't have like the epithet. It's just a first and last name. It's just like, yep, this is Mr. Vitridi or Mrs. Vitridi. I don't know. But it is cool. I mean, it looks badass. It's fucking Federico Musetti. It's pretty much everything anyone who's ever made that comment that Blake made fun of ever wanted, because it looks tight as hell. It's interesting that they decided he was an Earth and Ice Guardian when nothing about him in any of the other arts ever alluded to that. But you know, it's
Well,
fine. I get it.
He's
They
an all-in, which so is Oldham. So it's possible that it's like kind of the race of people, kind of like that group of Guardians is like the Ice Earth
okay.
Guardians. I know his.
Well, that
hero
sounds
text
like they
doesn't-
made that up after the fact.
No, he's
No,
always
I
been
I
all-in.
mean, yeah.
It's in the lore stuff about that's what Oldham is, blah, blah, blah. But I thought they were like extinct. So I don't know what's going on here. Time is a flat circle.
Mm.
Also, I find it all extremely interesting that essence of earth and ice, but we have an ice ability. What's up with that?
Get fucked. He's gonna play both cards.
I mean, I think the easiest thing is he has an earth weapon called climate change or whatever. That was the funniest joke. Colin posted, nailed it. I think it will be. Why does this make no sense? It'll be like, oh, he has a specialization weapon that does earth, but his hero power does ice. That way he has both available at all times. Build them the way you want, not just Oldham had a clear Winter's Well is better, so I'm going to go ice. And I just contradicted myself a little bit, but now the earth part isn't also like ice was also the hero power. So it did make sense of my hero power and my weapon both have ice. I'm going to do 80% ice. This time it's 50-50 maybe, and it is I need to balance my pitch a little better.
Well, like, go ahead, Zane.
Well, what if they finally give Guardian a legendary helm and it's like Earth Guardian or something, you know, and like his equipment or like not just his weapon, but like some other piece of his kit makes him.
Oh, like Barkskin of the Millennium Tree?
Well, we've seen that one, but I mean, like they could try to like fix Crown of Seeds, kind of, right? Print Crown of Seeds how it is more fair now after the fact, kind of like
Ragamuffin.
okay,
of
we know you
seeds.
sickos love this card. Let's give it to you in a more balanced way. But if it's Earth Guardian, then like Terra can play it. You know, they've kind of made like a
Right.
little pathway. I don't know. Just an idea.
The other thing about it is like Earth historically has just been kind of weak, you know, but now it's a little juiced with Rosetta.
All the Earth
So-
heroes pre-Rosetta LL'd
Yeah.
pretty rapidly.
Literally,
Yeah,
Earth
yeah, yeah.
is the
Whoa,
best
whoa,
card
whoa,
of
whoa,
all
whoa.
time. So
Whoa.
I don't even think we're gonna let
No.
you get that out.
Okay. How many times did you Earth fuse with Oldhim?
We just use the Earth helmet
The Earth
every
helmet.
turn instead.
Yeah, totally. There's like random cards, not random, a select few like Channel Mount Heroic, Crown of Seeds, very good.
Touch.
Sure, but it's like only because it blocks 3. It's not like you were
Mhm.
playing you know, Evergreen in every list because that card was so good, you know, or you were playing Summer's whatever Shelter all the time because that was so good. Like people played more of the ice cards more often because they had like
They didn't have these
Hit
decomposed
effects.
cards yet. Yeah.
yeah, they had
now
hit
we're-
effects. They
now
gave
we're
you
killing it.
frostbites or they dominated stuff. Where Earth was just like put a card back in your deck. Isn't that cool? That's earthy. And you're like, yeah, but I have to kill this guy. So anyway,
Or you just bore your opponent to death with Oldhim and they literally go, I guess there's no way I can win. And you sit down and go, hey, man, I played 25 D-Reacts in my 40 card list in Blitz. So you're going to have to play pretty fast because we're going to draw. And you go, I guess, screw me. I'm trying to play anything besides that. I'm going to lose.
here's the other thing I got about Ural. What's the odds on the hammer pick weapon he's holding in his hero art is actually not the weapon he's becomes printed with?
I think I would start being absolutely fucking pissed about LSS quit printing cool shit and not giving it the card version. Oh, look, like there's a cool log that we're never going to talk about again. It's in every one of her arts. Oh, it's in Mangle has it. His art has it. This other card with him has it. Here's a hammer that swings for 3. I'd be like, the fuck is going on? Like, quit doing this. Like, get your art right, figure your shit out, or don't print this shit. Don't be like, Jarl's actual payoff is 6 months after this because we want Jarl to be good in August 2025. Jen, print this shit in August 2025 or give me the pick now.
Okay. Jason Lai on the live stream did say that it's his favorite weapon in Flesh and Blood, whether he's supposed to say that or not. Because he was like, wait, have we spoiled it? And they said no. So I would guess that it is the pick.
It's gotta be.
I really hope that they give it something weird and cool.
Which, by doing that, they already made any money you spent on Betsy or time you spent on Betsy was obsoleted by one Jarl deck of like, just play Jarl instead. There's no way Betsy's going to be better than Jarl ever in her lifetime.
She
Just
could
bet
be.
bigger.
She could be. She could.
That's all you got to do. You got to bet the bigliest. Channel Mount Eisen, my favorite Mark Poole art that he has done for Flesh and Blood, hands down. Undefeated right there. It is freaking sick.
Nice.
Sick.
Now you're making me think of all the Mark Pools. That's tough.
I'll be honest, that's not that hard though, because some of his stuff has been kind of.
Yeah, totally.
We haven't been drafting him in the art draft. Let's just say that, okay?
That is true. He does have some like flash freeze. Come on.
Waning Moon.
The dude
Insidious
is hugely
Chill.
successful. I'm not really taking him down enough.
Wait, Taylor, he did Coercive Tendency.
Oh yeah, I know that. I have a
Oh, yeah, that
love-hate
one is
relationship with this card. It's like a specialization that does not have my hero in it in the art. It has some guy.
Your hero gauntlet is in it.
That who knows? It could be somebody else's. Who knows who that is? So,
You know.
but it is a cool looking card. I do like the art, but you know,
The full art just has Arachne in that dude's lap going like this.
right? Like, that's what he could be doing.
Wow, that's unhinged. I love that.
The full art tells a bigger story.
We love that. Okay. Any more Jarl talk? I'm kind of excited. I feel like it's coming very soon, and that would be my one complaint. But
Well,
I like
so-
how the frostbites go to an equipment. Like there's like a way to go around this. You know that I
Yeah.
think is good.
We get to play Aurora for like 2.5 months, and then ice shows up immediately, and you're like, fuck, nothing in my deck works with one ice. Like frostbite, I'm screwed. I think what's cool is the cards that showed up though. We have an action that's earth ice, and then we have a block, and they work together specifically to work together with probably it would have been Jarl's specialization attack if Jarl was Oldham before Oldham was Jarl. And like I think it's pretty cool that like those three cards tell a story as we are here's the thing you're setting up, now you're doing the block, and now you go get the attack, and they all work together is not a design we have really seen. I don't think since probably Welcome to Wraith or Arc of like having a tutor that specifically grabs something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Zane, you were going to say something also.
Oh, I was just going to ask if this is the new design space for frostbites. Like, is it just a Jarl thing, or is the way that they're going to like nerf frostbites going to be like, oh, it has to go in an open equipment slot?
I don't know. I mean, it definitely puts a cap, I guess, on the frostbites, but you still can like, what's the 2 for 6 that gives a frostbite? What's that called?
Icy Encounter.
Yeah. That still just like hits you and gives you a frostbite, you know?
Arctic
Yeah.
Incarceration gives 4 now with Jarl. Like that shit sucks.
Yeah.
If you have an exposed
Equipment slot.
Oh, I broke your headpiece off already.
Which I'm wondering if like, so nobody uses just a one-handed weapon and then doesn't fill the other spot. Yes?
Why would you?
It does not count offhand.
Vincent is the only hero that like in the course of a game might just have a one-handed weapon.
Yeah.
Outside of needles, I guess.
Well, and flick knives with assassins. So
Yeah,
is that a spot count as an equipment spot?
No,
because you can put a shield there or an offhanded equipment.
It only counts the 4 main ones, I believe. Like I think we know that already. Because it says an extremity is this, and does those 4.
Okay, I believe you. Just wondering. The oh shit. What was the other thing I was gonna say? Can't remember. I should be writing down in my notes. Oh, that's what it is. This is an Armory deck Origins. Why is its name now different? Why do we have 400 different types of products now?
New
Why is it
hero.
Origins?
It's a hero not from a set.
It's more expensive.
This is Jarl's origin.
Oh.
Right?
It's
every single
$60
other one-
instead of 40. So you're getting more products. I think this is not a deck that you also have to buy more Majestics for. Yes, you're going to need your Trenolic Frigids, but you could play this deck, and this is the strongest product we have ever made. Welcome to the game. You're all Vitredes.
Is it more expensive, or are you just looking
It
at
is. It's
Australian
60.
dollars?
It's $60.
It's $60.
Or you
It
just
is.
look
I mean, the link is in Australian dollars. I'm just saying. I don't know where else it says it's.
maybe
The
your
prices.
VPN has put you in Australia right now.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
it's
they
an
mentioned it
Australian
too because
store.
they said that it includes a legendary.
Yeah.
A new legendary.
Oh, that's why.
But yeah, the
Which would be
origins
cool
to
if-
me just means it's a new hero. that I've
Okay.
never seen.
Did we need to change the name?
No.
I think we needed to probably tell you why it's a different price. if it doesn't say something different on the box. So we did need to change the name, not for stuff that fans care about, but for people that are selling things care about this.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
Good point.
Good point.
I think also it is kind of like, if you do care about the lore, I am talking on my ass because I don't know everything about this, but like there is a timeline and Jarl is from way before. So Jarl wouldn't be in this timeline, but we're going to go ahead and bring him into CC anyway, because it'd be kind of stupid to not bring an iconic character from our past. Why are we limiting ourselves to current characters? Let's give the people what they want. Welcome to the frickin' show, Jarl.
Okay. I would like now the lady from Dread Triptych and what's it? It's a Shadow Runeblade, bottom of non-attack.
I mean, it makes way more sense for them to
On
introduce
Hallardice.
new heroes this way
Yes.
rather than release fucking heroes that already exist. It's just like, oh, here's a bunch of cards that are already out there in like two
Totally.
pieces that'll be
Yeah.
good that
Yeah.
you as like an Azalea player like will now have to buy this deck so that I can like pull out the equipment that's better. But like now we just have a new hero, and I would much rather them do it this way than release decks of
Agreed.
heroes that already exist. Like this is way cooler. They don't
Way
have to
cooler.
worry about balancing it for draft.
Yeah.
It can just be balanced for CC, and it can be fun. So, you know,
And we don't need like Trip the Ice Fantastic of a instant discard ice card that would have been super hard to balance in draft.
Yeah.
yeah.
Great call. Shall we move along here? We've spent 40 minutes talking about not our...
This is a
Planned
4-hour podcast.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Buckle up.
You're not wearing your seatbelts?
Oh, no,
I'm
I am.
wearing
We're
my
just telling everybody else who's
Okay,
listening.
good.
And
Yeah.
we have a big
Oh.
reveal at the end, so you better stay put.
I almost freaking died. Right there.
Yeah. I'll have to call
That
911
was
to
funny
Blake's
until it
house.
wasn't.
Here we go. 5 favorite stuff segments. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Perfect. Here we go.
I think I kind of got to pull it up while we all look at it.
5 game moments that stick out to us. For me, the one I thought of instantly was when Lucas was on stream playing Arachne against Royal Dromai. Everybody goes, "You're doomed." But then he pitches Regicide super early. And then both players know it's in the deck. It's in the pitch stack. You better kill him. And then he fatigues the Dromai anyway and doesn't need to use Regicide. But the threat was there the whole time, and it created great tension in that game and was inspiring as an Arachne main.
That's tight. Regicide is tight. My favorite moment is back at Worlds #1 in beautiful San Jose, California, if you've heard of that location, in a tent, where one unknown young man named Michael Hamilton rose to fame and prominence by both winning, but also in a really great, I think it was in a top 8 game. I forget if it was semifinals or
It was quarters.
quarterfinals. It was an Icelander mirror. Fancy that. And Michael brain freezes his opponent, sees that there's a defense reaction in his hand, can't do anything about it. Ends his turn. His opponent arsenals that defense reaction, and Michael Hamilton says, well, if I don't attack him ever again, he can't play that defense reaction, and he's out in arsenal and basically his hero power, because that's Icelander's whole thing, and just kind of like proceeds to just slowly, piece by piece, rip him apart. And it was it's just like an inspired thing where, you know, people, they show you cards sometimes and you're like, oh yeah, okay. And then you forget, usually, at least I do, like the next turn, like what they showed you. But, you know, these good players, they're just like, hey, I'm about to fuck you for showing me that card. So it was a pretty cool moment that maybe that dude should have just conceded because there was no hope for him. But we all watched him slowly lose and just be like, damn, good call, Michael Hamilton. So that was mine.
I mean, you probably want to play it out if you get $8,000 if you win or something.
Yeah, you're not going to win.
Mine is, there was that one time where Chris Ioli versus Craig Pollock. Ioli is like finals of the AGE, like the first one we did, and it was like, oh, Lexi sucks into Oldham, and we were just watching him play Oldham, and it's like, this is so bad for Lexi. Damn, this really sucks. And then he's down like with 5 health left, and almost comes back and makes the whole like comeback. And the thought process was like, oh, this is the first time we see what is going to turn into that Lexi deck that terrorized everyone for 8 months. So it was still pretty cool, like, holy crap. But then it was like, oh, this is going to be around for a long time and is going to kill everybody for a whole calendar year. And we're going to go, I hate this deck very soon.
All right, my all-time favorite game moment is iconic and easily my favorite moment. It didn't take long for me to decide. It is the Sigil of Solace top deck from Arthur Chahey at the Pro Tour Los Angeles. Probably the most iconic like call or single moment in a game. But yeah, this was just so like exciting and electric to like have happen in the finals of a Pro Tour on stream. So that gets my vote.
And the memes, it was great.
Yeah.
The fifth one is, I think, Summer getting blasted for 158 or 57 damage or whatever, 187 damage or whatever the hell it was on stream in LL with freaking Verdance and Kraken's Aetherbane. That was crazy.
Nice.
Where were you when that happened? Yeah, everyone remembers.
Okay, next list, Colin.
All right, our next. This one is real exciting. I'm glad I get to present this one. It's our top 5 favorite pitch colors. Let's go. Number 1, for me, it's blue, baby. How many blues in your deck? Kano needs to know. That's all we got. Blake, what's...
My favorite pitch color is yellow.
That's a good choice.
All my favorite heroes, both Reinar and Aurora, their best majestics are yellow. So I'm not pitching them. So I didn't really pay attention, but I pitch them to do my claw if I need to. Yellows are the best.
It's all about the blues, baby. We're playing Winter's Bite Blue. We're playing Knock the Death Whistle. We're transcending. We're having levels of enlightenment. It's all about blue.
The best pitch color is pitchless. That's the best one.
Can't be pitched.
No pitch, baby.
All right, and shout out to number 5, red.
Yeah, somebody has to pretend that one of those blues was chi or something, so that way we have 5 different colors at least.
No, blues twice. Doing blues.
Oh, okay,
goated.
blues twice. My mess up. What's cool is whenever we're done with calling, it goes to me, and I'm in charge of the favorite weapons that we have. And I will say, recently I got a new favorite weapon because I've always liked the daggers. But my favorite one of the daggers is Mistblade, beckoning Mistblade. Because you were beckoning like, come on, give me a block, dumbass. And then they go, I didn't block. And then you go, Siren's Call anyway. And like, if this does hit, then I get to go again with one of my crappy blue attacks. And now my crappy blue is like one of the best cards in my deck. So I think it just opened up new to be one of the best assassins we could see.
My all-time favorite weapon says draw a card on it. So we know it's good with Death Dealer. It's one of the first cards I fell in love with when I started playing FAB, and I still load my Death Dealer to this day.
Well, Blake, you chose a dagger, but it's inferior. It's clearly Graven Call is the sickest dagger. You get a stab, and then you get to throw it, and then you buy it back, and then you can stab again. and no other weapon does that. So, and you can stab for more. That's the best part. So Graven Call is definitely the best.
Buy one stab, get a flick for free. My favorite weapon says everything has go again. Get fucked. Illusionist is the best. Luminaris. It was fair. It was fun. Everyone misses it. And man, so many good times where you're just like, it's cool that this staff is also a machine gun.
Speaking of machine guns, the bazooka of the game is a Nothos. I think that's always one of the first interactions you would teach new players of like, so a Nothos is always checking. So this 3 for 4, whenever this person across from you looks like a freaking idiot and they have a card in their arsenal, another card in their hand, it's actually going to come in for 10 because it's a pummel behind there. And I think teaching everybody about always checking. I don't think there's been a better hammer. I don't even think Sledge was better. I think you could even be like, is Winter's Well better or is a Nothos better? Like, every single Guardian has played a Nothos. A Nothos is still one of the best weapons, even though it's 5 years old at this point. Go a Nothos.
All right, let's get into the equipment. Probably my most favorite part of FAB is the equipment loadouts and all the different unique things you can do with them. So with my pick for number 1 favorite equipment, I'm going to go with Mask of Recurring Nightmares.
Nice. Can't
Tight.
escape it.
You had so many other things written down, which is
I know.
which is pretty funny. I didn't know which one you were going to choose. I recency bias tells me Barkskin is so freaking sweet, but I think the OG thing I still have loved to have hit the table and use, especially in a mini snap, is Rampart of the Ram's Head. So those are my picks. I'm picking 2. I don't care.
Wow.
You're ruining the math.
I hope you're counting. For me, also easy. Storm Striders. I get to do whatever I want whenever I want for 1 resource. So, pow. Also fair. Love it.
I will say my favorite is definitely Scabskin Leathers. What if you could do whatever you want whenever you want, but you got to roll dice first and it costs 0 and everyone's going to complain about it even though you have lost to every single person in your meta by rolling a 1 immediately whenever you needed something. Every major milestone I could have had has been marked with 1s across the board. There's literally a meme of my face of getting double 1s. Like literally everyone has it. It's super sad but super fun to play. And I got mine signed by James White. Yeah, that's why it's my favorite.
All right, and then the favorite for the podcast, I'm gonna resist the urge to pick one of the 2 cool Ranger helms that I love, and I'm gonna go with the EP Creepies, the Spellbound Creepers. Kind of like Storm Striders, but you have to work a little harder for them.
Only slightly, and then you get to do it like 10 times if you're just rolling high, you know.
Legendary Iron Rot. Sometimes.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Last one of this segment. 5 favorite tweets from Fab Twitter. Mine is not really a Fab tweet, but it's from a Fab content creator, Capolo. Was just recently on vacation and was just posting pictures of himself with gelato from different country or cities in Switzerland, and there have never been more wholesome, better tweets than that, and I just love it.
I love Capolo. He's my local.
Yeah, he's so great.
Mine is from, I don't know them personally, but they're at Amelina's Flame. Anastasia on the Twitter says, Kano is healthy for the game. Sorry your deck with tons of value per turn can't actually pressure an opponent with only 30 life. Decks that do cool things should bully decks that don't do cool things.
Sheesh.
Wow. Thank you. We love it.
We love it. Mine is not as cool as that. I think it's just like anytime somebody's like, I'm thinking about maybe looking at somebody opening Fab cards, people post that photo of, do you have time to talk about FAB? Do you have time to talk about FAB? And it's kind of like insane how many people will post that, and like the pressure of that constantly. Every time I see that, I'm like, who is it? Like, you look and it's not the same 5 people. It's always like different, but then there are like 2 people that just do it every time, and you're like, equal parts like, okay, thanks for being an ambassador, but equal parts like, get a life, bro. Like, thank God I'm not like that. Like, thank God I have a brighter future than just posting one of the same pictures on Twitter over and over again.
Okay, wait. One of my favorite Instagram accounts for the longest time was same otter every day, and it was the same picture of the same otter every single day, and that was pretty great. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I like that too. Yeah, for sure.
That was Blake, actually.
My otter every day on my Twitter is not the animal, so it's a
Anyway,
gay man term. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, this is a sex thing. Let's go to Zane. He's G-rated most of the time.
All right, mine's recency bias, but it was too good. The tweet that called out the FAB, like shouting out their locales where their events are, like with the sigil in Barcelona, and then the book bannings in Florida. That was
so good.
It was too on the nose. It was too like, everybody was like taking everything so seriously about that ban, and then that was just like the perfect lighthearted take to bring us back.
Nice.
Thanks for that.
Tight. We have what's our 5th one? Oh. Brian Gottlieb quits Twitter.
That was a monumental day for everyone.
It was a great thing for him and everyone else. Let's all be honest. He wasn't having a good time, so why be there? All right, that's it. That's our first segment of top 5.
Probably good for him.
Yes, he was.
And by
was
quit
also,
Twitter, I mean he only shows up once a month and posts one thing and gets 300 likes for saying some of the most like boring shit ever. But everyone's like, "Let's go."
Well, we have a Brian Gottlieb segment later that we will get to. So
yeah, stay tuned for.
Stay tuned.
More top 5s coming up later this episode. Next, we're going to pivot into some recent local history being made by one and only Taylor the Rock Morrow.
Nice.
Took down his ProQuest like a champ. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Everyone applaud now.
Was anybody else there, Taylor?
Nope. It was just me, and I just kicked Patrick in the nuts and ran away with the promos and said, "Neener, neener."
My notes are saying that Blake was also there.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Blake went to Arcata.
Okay.
/ Humboldt County.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Blake was here for a whole weekend. It was the greatest weekend of his life up until the moment we played in the ProQuest, and I beat the living shit out of him, and he basically flipped the table and had to go take a 10-minute break. But other than that, it was, it was a great time. It was a great time. Blake showed up. We did some stuff on Friday, and then we went to the Medieval Festival of Courage in the beautiful city of Blue Lake. And not only did we get to see Sean Adams, pause for excitement. Yes,
name.
I thought it was Shane. Maybe it's Shane. I don't know.
We keep
the Mr. Adams from Full Metal Jousting on TV was there, and we saw full contact jousting, and that was sick. So it was like, if you're like at a local thing like the Medieval Festival of Courage, and you're like, oh yeah, there's jousting. I bet they have some like washed up, nobody knows who they are TV host or famous person, you would say that as a joke. But it really happened at the Medieval Festival of Courage. He literally went, "Yes, it's me, Shane Adams from television." And then it was crickets, and it was like crazy. And he's like, "Yeah, I was on Full Metal Jousting on TV.
Is
Isn't
that a show?
Cool?" Yes, apparently it was. Apparently it was.
Like,
6
do they
seasons or
joust
something.
on it?
I think they must, or else why have that in the title?
I don't know.
There was one season, 10 episodes.
There
He
you go.
was the host. All happened in 2012, so I was graduating college and not able to watch.
2012. Has he hosted anything else?
Oh, that's all he needed to do. 1.2
now-
to 1.7 million people watched per episode. So
Wow. More than we got, so I guess I can.
Totally.
say.
It was awesome. The Medieval Festival of Courage was great. The jousting was pretty good. And then we watched a band play medieval rock music with their bagpipes on fire. It was fucking sweet. Yeah. We had some drinks. Blake brought me a root beer float. It was amazing. It was hot. It was great.
Nice.
What a great time.
Was that the day that you missed our production meeting?
Yes.
I'm glad.
I think we should have been more forthcoming. I'm waking up at 8 a.m. while traveling is just not a Blake thing to do.
I thought we talked about it in our last meeting that Blake would be at my place and we will not record or have a production meeting. Okay.
I think that you did
there we
say
go.
that. I didn't
Thank
show up
you.
either, and I'm
Thank
pretty
you.
sure you did say that.
Wow.
Colin just
Sure, it
wasn't
comes out.
taking, he wasn't taking
write
notes.
this down so we can edit
Yeah.
this out.
Right there. What time is it? 1:02. Goodbye. I'm in charge of the history. All right. So then what happened?
Then after the Medieval Festival of Courage, Mitch called me and was like, "Hey, you need anything from Costco?" And I was like, "No." And then I was like, "Are you coming over later?" And he was like, "Yeah, Levi invited me." I was like, "Oh, sick." And then I got off the phone with him, and then Levi texted me, "Hey, Mitch is probably headed over to your house." I was like, "Okay, sweet." So shout out to Mitch. And then we just hung out, and we locked ourselves in the dojo and practiced for our ProQuest because half of the people at my house then were also going to be at the ProQuest. So you knew exactly what the meta was going to be like. And it was super fun. I had a great time doing that.
Nice.
Blake, interject at any time. I'll just tell this whole story.
We played Arcs. Arcs is a
yeah.
board game.
Oh,
Did we do
That's
that
about
Friday?
trick taking. So we kept saying the word trick taking all weekend, even when it wasn't an actual thing. It's kind of crazy. I guess we could talk about the story, but it's never going to matter because they're never going to have another ProQuest. I think this comes down to a mindset of I'm playing the number one person in the room in the first round, and you just want to hey, judge, push repair, please, God. Please, God damn it, push repair. I don't want to play Taylor in round one. I didn't fly here to immediately lose and lose all chance at we didn't even play a game earlier that day or show up to play one practice round. It's literally open up your deck, shuffle, and then I just didn't draw a flicker wisp for 27 cards. And my third Arc Lightning gets plowed under, and I'm like, what's the fucking point of playing this goddamn deck if I can't draw one of my power cards? All that's happening as Taylor's bragging about this is the first time I'm ever going to sleep in my bed before I play. I'd hate to be the first person I play against because I'm going to absolutely fucking wreck them. Then it just becomes my fat ass because Jim can't fucking focus. And that's when I tweeted about Jim. It's there's something where enjoy FAB while you can, because whenever FAB tells us what Jim ID's actual algorithm is, and it goes we put you against the other best player. If you're the best player, everyone's going to be like, can I get in on a class action lawsuit? Because I've paid money to fly to Japan, and you're going to have me play against Michael Hamilton in round one? Bullshit. Like, give me my money back. I'm suing you. And if I knew the algorithm, I wouldn't fly to Japan. So like that happened on a local level of me flying to Arcata, I think it's called, and it was nice to see all the spots of like, here's the vendetta I have from 8th grade against this person. Here's the vendetta I have in 10th grade against this person.
He was so funny. He's like, oh, you guys have like a McDonald's. Do you guys have a movie theater? Oh, you have one of those. You know,
Did
he
you
would say
verify that they have a Taco Bell?
I didn't
We
see a Taco
100%
Bell. I
do.
saw a KFC. But...
You definitely, we drove right past it multiple times. We have a Taco
No,
Bell.
Blake says he's not sure.
Blake was too amazed by all the other stuff we have. You know,
I think he thought you
have
just
TP
lived
tires?
like in a field with nothing around it.
I think what's funny is how much art is in the spot of like, definitely they have an art community where like, hey, there's a wall here and there's nothing on it. Let's put art on it. And you're just like, well, sometimes we just need walls. And there was like murals on the sidewalk. And you're like, this sidewalk could just be sidewalk, but it's like you're walking on like under the sea sidewalk. And you're like, oh, okay. But then he told me some of this was actually under the sea once. And that was crazy to try and think about of like, all of this stuff you can see right now was underwater that day. And I just could not like fathom it or whatever. I also just to dig right back at Taylor, the funniest fucking thing that happened was he was like, do you want to come to Arcata for this ProQuest? And I was like, sure. Let me figure out with work. The only thing I have is a meeting at 10:30 a.m. on Monday. And he was like, that's fine. Like, there's no way, nothing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, woken up by Maria, and she's like, hey, by the way, we don't have power right now. And she started to give me directions to where I needed to go. And I go, Maria, like, she was like telling me, like, look it up. I was like, okay, we don't have internet for the phone. Then she started writing it on a notepad. I said, I don't have a car. She's like, and I was like, you probably need to go do whatever you were planning on doing, and you don't have time to drop me off anywhere. And she's like, yes. So she left. I'm stranded. I'm wait and like start looking out the window for Levi of like, Levi hasn't left yet, right? Levi's like, I have to go get internet right now too. And I was like, I have to get in your car or I'm not. The funniest fucking part about this, Colin and Zane, I look at his fridge and it's a notice from 2 weeks ago of the only time you're not going to have power is the 4 hours Blake said, I just need power during this. He knew about it before he asked, like, hey, do you want to come to this? And I was just like, oh, okay.
It's like, I'm not home during that time anyway, so why would I commit it to memory? You know what I mean? So funny though that Maria like gave you a handwritten note of like, okay, turn, it's here, and it's just like,
walk to the river, jump into the river, let it take you away. Yeah, did you make your meeting, Blake?
My meeting lasted 7 minutes. Nobody cared that I was there at all. It was like one of the most like, God damn it. Like, if anybody in corporate America / whatever we work in, if one of those people could just be like, it's okay that you missed, but like, there's no way I could call them or say like, hey, I can't make this meeting because I had no service either. And it was funny. It was just like, this is living in Humboldt County. And I was like, could I do this? And then I was like, 15,000 people, they have a movie theater? They have two movie theaters?
We have 30,000 people in Eureka, 15 in Arcata. Get it together.
Wow.
I still don't have it correct, man.
I know.
Do you know where you went though?
I went to Oaxacan Grill
Yep.
And that's something where like they know you by name, and I'm like, they know 30,000 people by name if they walk in. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
And now we know them by name too. Shout out to Oaxacan Grill. If they ever sponsor us, we could say shout you out by name. That was cool. We played board games. We got pizza, but then we forgot to click the second pizza. But then like I woke up with heartburn, so I was like, what's going on? The one thing where I was like, oh shit, I did not realize this about Humboldt County was walking like, hey, there's a beer on the back porch. And I'm like, okay, like beers could be inside maybe too, but like the cooler's gonna get water or somewhere. So I go to the back porch and it is pitch ass black of like I literally can't even see the cooler because like it's so dark. Like there's no light from like there's no light because it's not a city or whatever. And it's like I've been on my grandparents' farm way back whenever I was a little baby, but like when I was 18. But like this feels like the first time in when there's no lights whatsoever. I'm like, this is literally terrifying. Like I could be eaten by a mountain lion grabbing a beer and everyone would just be like, well, the mountain lion wasn't scheduled whenever I was going to be home, so it didn't really go cross my mind. And you're just like, God damn.
We had a great time. I hope Blake comes back. It was a ton of fun. We did a ton of fun shit for sure.
It sounds great.
The lady on the way out really pissed me off, though. Like, literally right before I get on the plane, she's like, you need to put your jacket on and your stuff in your bag. And it's literally like, I'm about to go sit where there's nobody next to me. I'm like, nobody needed this energy, lady.
You get what you pay for at the budget airline that flies to Arcata.
Hey, Avelo is pretty good. It's a good airline. It's on time.
I hope that bitch is listening, and just kidding, I can't say that, but like, I hope that woman who is doing her job does her job a little less. That's actually my complaint with Patrick as well. Just push repair. You literally, it was the 4 people that weren't at the house with you, and the 4 people that were with you are literally split in half. And it's like all of us have all played each other. Levi left his deck at home. He didn't even prepare correctly.
There was
gets
so
third
much
place,
drama.
and you're just like, what
So
the
much
hell is
drama
going
at this
on?
ProQuest.
He still has one of my Warmonger's Diplomacy hollows because we couldn't get the right one back to me.
We're
I'm
15 minutes into
Levi.
this segment, and we haven't talked about the ProQuest at all yet.
I know. I'm trying to get there. I should have never unleashed Blake there.
No, it's
I
great.
love Humboldt County. I definitely want a hoodie.
Yeah, when are we getting the Cubs hoodies?
Soon. Anyway, okay. So Levi forgot his deck at his house, and so he shows up with 4 other decks that aren't the one he's prepared to play and have like proxies in them. So he has to like crack some Rosetta packs and borrow cards from everybody to make his like Verdance deck like work. And he wins round 1, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, if you fucking win this whole thing without having the right deck, that's just gonna be like a little upsetting, but also a crazy story too, which maybe I wouldn't be upset about. But I brought Florian to the ProQuest, and huge shout outs to Yuki and Zane. I talked with them kind of extensively and consumed all of the Yuki Florian content and just brought her list card for card and took the whole thing down. It went very smooth. I felt like I knew a ton of why I had a bunch of cards in there that were included in all of their purposes. And even though I was like, maybe I should change this. And then, you know, Zane and Yuki both were like, no, that card's like actually kind of good in this matchup and this way. And so then I was just like, okay, I'll just trust right now. And it worked out great. And I had to play 2 Enigmas and beat them both. And it was like very stressful and very hard. And it worked out. I didn't think like me and Kenny's game like finished with 6 seconds on the clock. I couldn't see the clock, and he was like, yeah, you like killed me with 6 seconds left. And I was like, tight.
Buzzer beater.
It was awesome. buzzer beater from downtown with a felling that I had pitch stacked for the win. Let's go.
Nice. That's awesome.
Totally.
Are you going to go to London?
I am thinking about it quite a bit, actually.
Nice.
You should.
It's like
sick.
actually at a perfect time for school because it's the weekend of the start of our spring break. So I can like take minimal work off and then go and then also stay there without taking more work off, which is pretty sweet. So I'm pretty excited actually about that. So Zane, if you're going, let's hang out. And
Not currently planning to, but we'll see.
sick. Well, if anybody who I know is going, let me know because I'll need friendship and I don't speak the language. So I'll need a local.
Oi. Just shout that at people. They like it.
Then the last piece of drama here was it was at the defunct store, which we tried to get it moved. The one Levi used to own, but now no longer owns because of terrible reasons. And we didn't want to play there to support them. But they wouldn't let us move the venue. They made us play there. So we had to like play there. And we got no support other than the like promos they gave us. And that like are included in the ProQuest kit. And then when the event was over, he was like, okay, I would like a box, please, because that's what we agreed upon. And they were like, no, we've been told not to give you that. And he was like, what? It's like, that's what we all talked about. And they're like, nope, not doing it. And so he grabbed his stuff and we're all like leaving and stuff. And Patrick's a tall guy. So he's like fast walking the speed that some people run. And he's like, you know what? You could go fuck yourself as he's like leaving the store. And it was fucking crazy and epic. But then he turned around and was like, actually, I'm sorry. That was unprofessional. I know it's not you. It's the owner of this store. But still, I just worked for free. And I'm just asking for a little bit of compensation, please.
Some people would say he's almost done too much work.
And then Levi's like, here are the receipts. Here's the text messages. And they still were like, no. So then they were like, okay, go fuck yourself. And then that drama continued. But then the cherry on top is that then they went to the other store and they went and bought 2 boxes and they were just like, let's just open packs and feel good about ourselves. And Patrick goes to open the box he bought, and Levi goes, no. Here, take this box I bought. My luck is insane. And Patrick goes, what? Okay. And then opens up one of the Marvel sigils. He opens some really good Majestics he needs. He opens up a bark skin and like a handful of other stuff. And it was just like a freaking goated box. And then Levi opens the box he traded with Patrick, and they play some sealed, some of the guys, Blake included, and there's absolutely dog crap in there. So like nothing.
Wow.
And it was just like, wow, that's crazy that somebody says that and then it comes true. So
Shout out to Levi.
Hell yeah, he's a great dude. So that's the ProQuest report. Deck tech not going to happen because Yuki already has done it. There's no need to listen to me. Listen to her. Shout out to Rob, who was on that freaking coaching session with Yuki. Super helpful. Go do on the bobble stuff. Go over there and talk to Zane. That's how you do it. Win ProQuests.
All I did was say,
Easy peasy.
yeah, don't change the deck. It's good.
Did she say, just have your opponent not draw any of their fucking flicker west for 35? Why? What's crazy is through all the practice we did, I think we played it like 4 times before, and it was close, not close, a little closer. I think I won 1 time, and then the time it actually matters, I literally got smoked harder than ever before, and you're just like,
The own bed level up, dude.
Glad to be here so I could be the first body that, like, oh, what do we get for consolation prize? No packs? Great. I'm so glad I got 4th place at Humboldt Mall. Like, great. That did nothing for me. Can't wait to come back to, I don't even know this store's name.
Good. We don't want to mention
all.
it.
You got top 4, Blake.
Yeah.
That's good. Aurora. Let's go.
Top 4 out of, I think, 45. It was nice.
Yeah, it's packed. Should we, any other questions, or should we move on to another 5 segment?
Oh.
Let's go.
5 segments, baby.
Welcome to the top 5 favorite things. I'm your host, Colin Honegren.
We put a lot of work into what the lists would be, but not what the whole thing was going to be called.
It's called 5 for 5 for 5 for 5 favorite things. On today's episode, we've got some great lists for you. I'm going to kick it off right now with our 5 favorite fables. Some good alliteration there. And what would a fable be without a big ass fucking library that also is totally fair and everybody loves playing with and against, because it works for both heroes. If you pitch 2 yellows, you get +1 intellect on your next turn.
Discard. You got to discard 2 yellows.
No, that's to get rid of it. If you want to use
Hater.
it like a
Right, sorry.
sane person, you pitch 2 and you get +1 intellect because it's a
Never
library.
played it. Yeah, so I don't know how it works, actually.
It's a library. It's great. Everyone learns there. So the Great Library of Solana, the first. No, that's not true. Second fable I ever opened.
Shout outs to how it doesn't work for Bolton at all. So thanks for that. My favorite fable is Plague Hive, because that is a duel. It can go in Rangers or it can go in Assassins. And it does feel like, oh, here's some attrition that I can get some extra block value from the frailty. I can give you some extra damage that you're going to have to, ooh, how did it make a Blood Rot Pox come out of nowhere? It's because I have this stone in my pocket.
And it's yellow, which is your favorite pitch color.
True.
My choice will also be the first. Well, actually, the first one I opened, not the second one. The first one I ever opened was Eye of Ophidia,
Hey.
gesturing to eye on the wall. I love Eye of Ophidia. It's a cool effect. The art is crazy. It's iconic. We love it.
I was pointing at my Eye of Ophidia right there.
Oh, I didn't notice that it's so tiny.
That's the
It's a
first
real
one
one.
I opened.
That's tight.
Good choice, Zane. Good choice.
My favorite fable is Heart of Fiendal. A classic, gains you a life. It's a blue and it's green. It's awesome.
It's blue and green, baby. Let's
Blue and
go.
it's green.
And for 5, shout out to our boy Viserai, the Arc Knight Shard. It's purple and blue, and it's dope. I don't have one. I wish I did. We should open up some more Crucible.
Bring back Viserai.
Bring back Viserai.
He's
Rune
good.
Chant Jesus. Let's go.
Let's go.
Transitioning to the next one, 5 favorite artists. We have the guy that signed my Arachne is Swarty. He's definitely our favorite, I would say. I think he listens every other art draft, maybe. So he knows who we are.
He knows.
All right, I'm coming in with Jasada Suti. Purely done a lot of good stuff, but purely off the back of New and Florian adult arts back to back. Just incredible.
Yeah,
Gets the shout here.
agreed. Well, I also have to pick probably maybe the Michael Jordan or LeBron James of Flesh and Blood art. Carlos Kurchaga does not miss. Every
Comes
single
for
one is a
3.
banger. It's crazy.
Nice. I'm a curveball it. Maybe it should be Federico, but you know, Azure Mazoa, she's just been putting out stuff that I'm really intrigued by and I want to see more of. Boom.
Which goes back around to our fifth favorite. That's Olga Terashenko. She's got the cool shit. I'm like, this isn't from your universe. This is from the universe of your dreams or robots. And it's pretty cool to see what her dreams are like. I can't imagine what's going on in her head when she goes to sleep and there's all this stuff come out of it. But very cool to see. She's going to be a once a card for literally, or 2 cards a set forever. And I think they'll be the coolest, some of the coolest cards of the set.
Nice.
All right, an iconic segment here next. We're going to go over our 5 favorite Gottliebs. Our 5 favorite Gottliebs, as you see on the banner there. I'm going to start out with everyone's favorite Gottlieb. The company, Gottlieb, that makes pinball machines and classic arcade games from the early 1900s. As my favorite Gottlieb.
I'm going to have to go with Gottlieb Dental in Beverly Hills. My favorite Gottlieb, for sure.
I will shout out Michael S. Gottlieb, the immunologist who discovered the AIDS virus.
I will shout out Benjamin Gottlieb, an American criminal.
And all of our favorite Gottliebs together is James White.
James White.
James White.
Sheesh.
Sheesh. Great segment.
I'm glad
moving
Zane
just-
did that. He made that one up, so I'm glad he got to say it.
Moving right along to our 5 favorite Majestics, I think I'm going to have to go with Coercive Tendencies, the new Arachne specialization that is extremely fun to play. Great Majestic.
Nice. I'm going with the classic. It's Gaze That Ages. Just the dopest card ever made. Easy.
Done.
Oh,
Blake.
we're going clockwise, so it's my turn. So I think I went a little bit different with this because there's favorite cards later. I didn't want to say the same stuff over and over again. So in Majestics, I kind of took it as, wow, that's a story that's being told. And when that happens and it comes down, you're like, oh shit, that turn was the pivotal turn. And I think the most like card like that in my head is Crippling Crush. Bring it back. Let's bring Bravo. Let's get him crippling crush people. Let's make it matter. Let's not have fridges for all 7 of us over and over again. Please, God, ban all these fridges so Bravo can come back and everyone can leave him alone.
Dear God.
Sick. The bonus number 5.
Wait.
R.I.P.
You forgot
Yeah.
Taylor
Zane.
also
Zane.
forgot how to go in clockwise order.
Fuck.
It's Codex,
Sure.
baby. We all know what's going on. It's Codex.
Woo! And the 5th one, here we go. R.I.P. Art of War, favorite Majestic. Is it a Majestic, though, or is it a super rare?
It's majestic.
It's a Majestic.
Okay. Just making sure. 'cause
Iconic chain moments with Art of War.
it's back in the day.
The
'cause it could've been a
ninjas less iconic.
Tight. There we go. Art of War.
All right. Rounding off this section of the top 5 favorite things of stuff we like to talk about of Flesh and Blood is our 5 favorite heroes. This will come as no surprise. It's Kano. He's the Drakai of Ether. Smokes you, Blake.
Sheesh. If only we had like a visual like thing on this. My favorite's Reinar, the Reckless Rampage. I like that he can syncopation and do damage, out of nowhere. Intimidate you.
Roll the 1.
My favorite these days has been New Alluring Desire. She feels like the aggressive aspects of Ranger at times, the defensive pieces of Guardian, and kind of ties it all together in a way that I love playing New.
Nice. Zane loves feet. I love Arachne Huntsman. That's clearly my favorite hero. Like, I love them so much, I might even get a tattoo of them.
Nice. And I can't seem to read the fifth one on here, so I'm just going to make up a different one. I don't know.
we all
Viscerai. How about Viscerai?
Yeah,
He's cool.
Viscerai, yeah.
I think it started with a D, but whatever. It's fine. Yeah, Viscerai's great. We love Viscerai.
Betsy. Betsy?
Ooh, I like that.
Let's go, Betsy.
Let's go, Betsy. Betsy, our other favorite hero. She's
pocket hero.
dope. Give her log or we will quit after the next 100 episodes.
That's totally fair.
It. And that's it. Thank you for joining us for 5 fucking things that we like.
That's 10 so far, so that's 50.
And back to our regular scheduled program. Boom. We have a great segment coming up. We got some listener questions, specially written to us, for us, not by us, because they came from real listeners, sent in by the best of the best, just some really great characters, pillars of the community, starting off with even a special celebrity guest spot. Should I say who it is or should I just play it?
Yeah, you should say it.
All right. Well, it's Tommy Fresh. Let's
Oh
go.
my God.
Buds. Attack Action Podcast, 100 episodes. Tommy Fresh here. Just, wanted to call in and say congrats. Huge accomplishment. Love you guys over there. Taylor, you got the sexiest mustache I've ever seen.
Thank you.
To be honest with you. To be honest, it's a little hard to record this message just thinking about it. But hey, very proud of you guys. Keep doing it. And yeah, here's to 100 more. Stay fresh.
Beautiful. So I think the question behind the
Great question.
the comment there is what can Colin, Zane, and Blake do to one day hope to achieve the greatness of Taylor's mustache? So I think for me, maybe I can like braid my hair. Like, would that be cool?
I think what you guys are not doing is you don't have a tiny comb and comb it every day. And then before bed, just massage your upper lip 10 minutes. See, that comb's too big. Blake, it's too big. You have a little tiny one. That's my regime. And I talk to it in the mirror like, you're so great. You're so perfect. You're going to do awesome today. I believe in you. And that helps.
I think braids might do it. So I'm just going to try that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do that.
I think instead of making our mustaches better, we should make Taylor's mustaches worse.
Ooh.
And shave it when he's not looking, and
Look,
then we could get on Tommy's good side.
You don't need to take out your resentment to Jim that I beat you in that pro quest out on my mustache. That's uncalled for. It has never done anything to you. Okay?
It literally has made me feel smaller than I've ever felt before in this moment.
That's a
Tommy
you
Fresh
problem.
goes, the only thing I want to say is I'm so turned on by Taylor's mustache, it has me question my whole life on a regular basis.
Zane, what are your thoughts on that? We can turn Tommy's attention to us.
I'm going to have to grow my hair out again. Get it real long. Maybe we'll get them.
That's good. I like that. I think we're on to something. We'll get them in the next 100. Don't worry. All right. So moving on to another question from one of our beautiful patrons who goes by the name of Scott.
Hey, Battle Bros. Congratulations on 100 episodes. I have a simple question for you today. Can you rank all the Californias from best to worst? Thanks.
Easily. I'll go first. It is farthest Northern California, followed then by Northern California, then clearly Southern California, then Southern California, and then Central California. And then we're going to lump all of Eastern California into one, and that's all in the bottom tier, except for Yosemite. That's pretty awesome. That has its own special place. Done.
I was going to say, are we doing the thing where we call what normal people call Northern California Central California? So, like, San Francisco and below is just Central California. It's our hot take and big contribution to the, discourse of California politics and geopolitical, stuff.
Power struggles.
So if I was to do it, it'd be Southern California, the true North California, Central California. And I do appreciate the call out of Eastern California because I don't know. What are they going to do about it?
Yeah,
They're the
there's
worst
stuff
one.
over there. There's like Bakersfield and Chico and those
Blake is
places.
Still listening for the question that's coming in.
I've just never been in NorCal, so I'd have to like really know what's there to rank it appropriately. But I really like living in SoCal.
There's a giant tent that Worlds was played in once. So that's in Northern
that part's
They have a
last,
movie theater
for
up
sure.
there.
The porta potty that I went to the bathroom in at Worlds 1 is definitely my least favorite spot in California directional.
Okay, here's a hot take on Central California. As someone who grew up in Central California, the Mexican food in Central California is better than Southern California.
Whoa.
Here's what you're actually saying, Zane, is everyone develops taste and nostalgia taste buds wherever they grew up. So the Mexican food tastes better literally where you grew up, unless you realize Mexican food is 90 to 99 good no matter where you are, and you'll just be happy wherever you live.
Here's what I'll say. Getting tacos in San Jose after Worlds was like one of the best things, and that was just your old Johnny on the spot normal taco place, and that's how Central California is. The Mexican food there is incredible.
That's true.
And the Central Coast doesn't get enough love.
That spot
Shout out
was
to
dope.
Fives, something like that.
Yeah.
The fuck was that place called?
Cinco's?
No, it just had a 5.
I guess in Spanish it would be Cinco.
Yeah. They had a taco guy that was like only there on the weekends.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome. It was super good.
Their shrimp a la Diabla was so spicy, and he warned me, and I was like, yeah, I want it. And it was like violent, but I loved it.
It was violent. And I thanked him for that. That place was dope. I can't remember the name. It was like Fives or something. Or the Dime Spot or something. 5 Spot? No, something like that.
It is something like that.
Go back to our...
There's no spot called Mid-Cal, so it's probably last.
Yeah, Mincal's the worst.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it.
For clear reasons. All right, next question.
All right, next question. This one comes from the one and only Darth Prentice, Greg, a.k.a. our editor and good friend, and our dog's, his dog is our dog's podcast editor.
Greetings, Battle Bros. It is Greg, a.k.a. Darth Prentice. Just wanted to pop in and say congratulations on hitting 100 episodes. Wow. I mean, it's like 98 more podcast episodes than the average podcaster produces in their career. So well done. Very impressive. Thank you so much for all the time and effort you guys have put into this podcast. I did want to say just a couple things really quick. I always have loved back in ye olden days when you guys used to do pick, pass, pray, because I had never drafted a card game before, and hearing you guys talk about your decisions on those was really helpful and insightful, and I miss you guys doing that, even though I'm sure y'all are bored as hell of it. I did have a question, and I want to know which generic card is each of your favorites of all the generic cards in the game. Specifically generic cards that go in your deck. I don't care that all of you love the Arcanite equipment or Arcane Lantern or whatever. I want to know what your favorite generic card is that actually goes in your deck. And bonus points if it only blocks for 2. Oh, and just as a quick aside, I did also have a Hotmail account, and that account was madmoose40@hotmail.com. You're welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg. I know. Oh, go ahead,
Colin,
Blake.
can you send that to me so I can listen to that to go to bed every night? That was so buttery smooth.
I played that question for my wife, and she was like, "How do I know that voice? Like, that
You should
sounds
not.
familiar." I was like, "I don't know. He's done lore stuff for us before. Maybe he's done something you've heard." Anyway, hire Greg to do voice stuff. My favorite generic card, easy pick for me, is a Classico. It's Life for a Life. Super sick. 1 for 4 go again if you have low life. If it hits, you gain a life, and it's got dope art of a lady just sucking the life out of some poor idiot. So it's sick. And I get those bonus points because it blocks for 2.
Nice. Zane.
All right. I'm going to resist the urge to pick something too generic, and I'm going to go with Premeditate, which is another 2-block bonus point getter. But we got Azalea on there. We got a cool, unique effect. We kind of replace Plunder Run, and yeah. Every time I play Premeditate, I'm having a good time.
Nice. Mr. Blake.
I know it's kind of like I think I heard him right. I think the thing that I like the most of the new set, and I don't think it'll go away anytime soon, once we figure out how to play it, once we figure out the really cool moments or the decks that really shine with it in there, 10 foot tall and bulletproof is my favorite generic that I've ever seen. I get 5 times the bonus points because it blocks for 10. Take that. It's called thinking outside the box, you guys. It's not only makes you dumber, it makes you smarter whenever it nails the right block. And I can't wait to hear the stories of how that card won games for people.
Blake, your
Nice.
intro was setting up so perfectly for a count your blessings joke. And I realized most of the way through that you were talking about 10 foot tall, but I was like, if he is making a count your blessings joke here, that would be so funny.
Missed it. You missed it, Blake.
Well, I guess I'll try to be more funny next time.
Okay.
We'll allow it. For me, we're going with the good old Pummers. Blocks for 2. Always comes in for a good time. If you could put Pummel in a deck, I mean, or if you're wondering if you should, you should.
Yeah.
And then if you can, put more. Or at least one. That way, leave them guessing. It's always fun. And then I did look it up. It was the 5-spot Chivas Grill, San Jose, California. We had the bet. We went there like 3 times in a row. It was so good.
So good.
And they were just very friendly. All right, here we go.
Why do you think they haven't made a wizard pummel? Is a follow-up question. Of like a wizard effect, like if you
It's
played
called Blazing Ether.
Oh, okay.
Or it's called Amp. I guess that's more of a non-attack action.
Well,
It's
like,
called Snapback.
Snapback is kind of the closest.
But make
thing,
your
yeah.
opponent discard a card.
Mind Warp.
Boom. Warped.
with Amp and Ether Wildfire.
Get fucked.
Honorable mention for generic Prismatic Leyline.
Dude, we're getting honorable mentions. Pursuit of Knowledge. You can pummel it, and it blocks for 2, and you get 1+ intellect.
No more honorable mentions.
Closing the polls. Here we
Journal
go.
Mentality.
Oh, bring back Joan. It did nothing wrong except break the game's fundamental values and our hearts. All right, here we go. This one from everyone's second favorite Mexican fast food chain. It's Del Taco.
What's up, guys? This is your boy DT. I just want to say congrats on 100 episodes and a killer run. Taylor, sweetest man ever. Colin, a god amongst men. Zane Johnson, what an amazing human being.
True.
Fuck you, Blake.
So I guess the question here is, Blake, what did you do to Del Taco?
Held him accountable and didn't give him free cards. didn't enjoy one time. I'm him every time, so he ninja before immediately.
Damn, we're getting personal here. I'm gonna bleep all that out.
I just had to say it with real emotion, so the bleeps hit harder. You know.
Yeah, that's good. Fair enough. Great. Well, those were some awesome listener questions. Do we want to do the written ones too, or should we just move on with our lives?
I mean, if somebody put effort into it, we might as well do it.
It's good.
Hit two of your choicest
All right.
listeners. Two choice.
All right. This one also comes from our patron who goes by the name of Scott. As we all know, Flesh and Blood is a fighting game. Due to some trick of fate, Flesh and Blood is now a literal fighting game, and you have to choose 8 heroes to be your World Warrior cast. Who do you choose, and what archetypes are they? Who has to wait until the Game of the Year edition to join the expanded roster? Is Reinar Blanca? I love this one for obvious reasons, because it's fun. So we have to do this together. So we need 8. We need to put our top 8.
Oh, thank God. I was like, there's no way I can do 8. I don't play fight. One of them.
I love
Kirby.
this. Like, this is the coolest thing ever.
It's Flesh
I
and
think
Blood
this
heroes.
is cool art. If you're an artist and you want to do some Street Fighter / FAB crossover, I'll buy all of it. I love Street Fighter stuff.
All right.
Okay.
So
Does all 4 WTR heroes make it? Like, I feel like they kind
yes.
of are the baseline of
Those
physical
are our
fighting.
Chun-Li, our
Ryu.
Ryukin, our Blanca, and our Guile.
This guy thinks Ken is in the. Oh my God! What the fuck is going on here?
All right,
Ken
whatever.
Ken was in Frame 2. No one talks about Street Fighter 1. All right. So what you meant to say, though, is Reinar, Bravo, Dorinthia. Who else was in there?
Katsu.
Katsu, bro. Katsu.
Katsu. Oh, yeah. I forgot about Katsu. He's kind of the Ryu, but not really. I guess he kind of is. Okay. So then what archetypes would they be? I feel like Bravo's definitely a grappler.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Katsu, Rushdown.
Yeah. Katsu is like your Kami.
Dorinthia, tricky.
That's an
Dorinthia
archetype.
Dorinthia is like I forget what they call it, but like the combo-y style characters who, like, once they get their hands on you,
Yeah.
like,
It's
they
like
look for
kinda
everything,
tricky.
and then
Blake, I need you to decide what Reinar is, though.
Zoner.
Reinar is Dalsum. Just he has long arms in this, and it goes.
Is that an archetype?
Dalsum. Yeah.
That's zoning.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
I kind
keep
of feel
it
like,
honest.
the assassins are like the rangers or the zoners.
See, I always thought like Rune Blades were kind of zoners because they're like, you know, taking your cards away by making you pitch for shit, like, and also making you block. So you have to, like, you know, play this weird
I
game.
feel like the Rune Blades are like
against
the new hero in Street Fighter who like can summon energy like behind you and like
He's like Ed. He just
yeah.
blows you up. Okay, so we got our first 4. Who else will we put? I mean, I'm going to put Viscerai in there because I think he would be a zoner for sure. He's flinging rune chants at you from afar. He doesn't even care if his attacks hit you. He just wants to keep fucking with you.
I think we got to throw Riptide in there because of the traps. You know, the aggro and the traps.
I think Icelander probably belongs, like like the frosty kind of, you know, control the game state type of character.
Yeah.
I mean, she's basically Sub-Zero, right? Like, and then she fucking uppercuts you.
Yeah. And then you're
Boom
done.
and bowl.
Who's the
Then,
last?
Dash
that-
sets up her items and
that's
shoots
7.
you for your bunch.
Yeah, Dash is a good one. Should kinda
Sounds great.
Set up.
Scott, talk to me in DMs so we could do this
Talk to-
way more in depth.
Don't do this in the DMs. We have video games channel. Let's talk about it there. I want to talk about it too. It's a great topic. Thank you, Scott. Great.
World Warrior.
Amsterdam,
Yeah. Amsterdam.
San Jose, Arcata.
Los Angeles.
That's great. Okay. Here's a great one from Rune Chant, Jesus himself. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck played Arachne? This is important.
That's pretty
60
good.
60 cards.
Definitely a little bit more because they fat deck you. So I'm going to say like 66.
The woodchuck checks the top card, bottoms it, and then it gets blocked out anyway. Passes because there's nothing else to do. Arsenal.
Correct.
Pitches regicide. Great. Okay, so here's our last one, I think, from Patrick, everyone's favorite judge in our Discord, Blake's least favorite judge in real life. Only for personal reasons, not because anything else. We actually love Patrick. He's the best. If you could live in one region of Wraith, which would it be?
It's a
Blake,
great
I'll make
question.
you go first.
I choose Solana just because I got a taste of it at the Courage Fair last week, and it's definitely somewhere that is full of nice people that have no ulterior motives and just seems like a lot of fun. And Bolton's there, and you can help Bolton do his stuff.
Man, we love Bolton. Zane.
You know, I would have said Arya 100 times over until Part the Mistveil, and now I'm like, I could see myself in Mysteria.
That's a great idea. That's great.
Oh, you got your chi going or something, Zane?
You cut out
Oh, okay. Never mind.
for me, which is I'm surely my fault. I literally didn't hear you.
I think I'm going to Arya. I think probably Candlehold seems cool there. Eternal Summer, but maybe I should go to Volthaven or Eisenloft because I don't want to wear that much sunscreen all the time. So let's just say Arya in general.
Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, I'll go to the pits. Everyone down there seems super healthy and having a good time.
That's you moved to Long Beach already.
Get my ass. All right. Thank you guys for sending in questions. We'll save some of those other ones for later. We're just going deep on this episode. So, you guessed it. It's now time again for our 5 fucking favorite things of this next stuff that we're doing.
I think it was funnier to make this list than it is
Don't
maybe.
say
I'm
that.
having fun doing it.
Oh, okay.
This
never
time
mind.
it's Blake starting first because I'm the third person. It's our 5 favorite judge calls. My favorite judge call is when I knocked my deck over onto my pitch cards and everyone got to look at the bottom of the deck besides me, including my opponent across from me, Jacob Baugh, the 2 judges that came by. It's the same time where I drew a stilettos off the top of my deck whenever I did the Genesis trigger. So that was a great game for me. Definitely teaching judges new things.
That's so funny.
All right.
Zane.
My favorite one is from Pro Tour LA. I was playing against the one and only Michael Hamilton in Limited, and his deck was just way better than mine. He was playing Kasai, and I was near fatigue, and he plays a pump and then attacks with Centauri Saber, and he goes, "Oh, can I activate Kasai? And I was like, I mean, no. And then he calls the judge, and the judge tells him, nope. And then he gives it go again, and then he attacks with the second saber, and as soon as he does, he puts his head in his hands, and he's like, can I activate Kasai? And I said, nope. He called the judge again, and the judge said, nope.
Why did
We had
he
a good
call
time.
the judge?
I don't know. It was very funny. We were having a good time. The judge was like still there. The game was over. It was funny. But yeah.
Nice.
I don't even know. I don't have a favorite judge call, but one that sticks in my brain forever is at Vegas, and I cast Invert Existence on my opponent's turn to kill them, and because they're just gonna die to Blood Debt and the 2 Arcane, and I'm just like double checking their graveyard to make sure I don't fuck up and make it so that they then have a playable thing that kills me. And a judge like comes and sits down like too close to me, and I'm like looking through, and we have 15 minutes left on the clock, and he just goes like, you need to take a game action. And I'm like, yeah, but this is like, I'm going to kill him right here, so I'm just making sure. We have 15 minutes. And my opponent went like, yeah, it's fine. Like, the game is over. And he just was like, you need to take a game action. I was like, okay, fine. I banished those cards. And then 40 seconds later, my opponent died. And that judge left. That was my favorite judge call.
Nice. My favorite judge call was when someone called a judge on my game next to me. They called a judge and said, can I ask you a question about something that I saw that was wrong in someone else's game? And I was just like already having a bad time in the Starvo meta. And then she's like, he played, Pulse of Volthaven and he's swinging Winter's Wail, and like that doesn't work that way. And I was just like, yeah, fuck you. It doesn't work that way because it's an elemental fucking weapon, not an ice weapon. And then he just proceeded to use it on the next thing and fucking destroy me. But it was still fun.
It does work on Whale, unfortunately.
All right. Well, then I misremembered what it was on, but it didn't work on what he did it with. So I got saved for 30 seconds before he had go again. And then the next thing had +4.
I believe you.
I like that the note just says, because played Volthaven wrong.
And then the fifth one we chose was, my Lightning Greaves just disappearing for no reason. Thank you, Patrick, for paying attention to my game for the semifinals of no prizing. Actually, I got 4th, not 3rd, but I was excited to find... Oh, I finally have the stuff I need to do a cool Gone in a Flash turn. Patrick goes, actually, that resolves with nothing.
Nice. What's next?
All right. Our 5 favorite flavor texts. Mine is Sigil of Suffering. Whenever you swallow, you will taste ash. Wherever you tread, you will feel thorns.
That's scary.
Yeah,
So
sheesh.
Runeblade, let's go.
Mine is, what does you mean, junk? There's riches here in the sprawl if you're willing to get your hands dirty. Kyle. Infused titanium.
Jesus, not
Okay.
Kyle.
Shout out to Kyle. He's the best.
Totally.
All right. Mine is on the 1st edition Blazing Ether foil, I think. It says, oh, you thought you were going to win? Kano quoting himself on his own card.
Mine, you heard me do it recently, but I think it's going to be one of my favorites for a long time. Enigma Chimera, it says, if you don't think it's real, try petting it.
And say that
Dang.
on the next date you're on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that what you tell the Daily Otter?
Oh my god.
I don't know what I don't want to know what I just said. Next.
All right, and the last one for the pod is swing big. Savage Lands politics is simple. Those with the biggest swing have the biggest sway.
Nice.
Whoa. I like that one.
A classic. Okay, next list of things that we fucking like here. Playmats. Favorite playmats. I'm just going with any assassin playmat.
Pick one.
They're pretty sweet.
Pick one. Pick one.
Okay, fine. Surgical extraction is
Boom. Did it.
pretty crazy to put on the table at the game store with children around.
Hell yeah. I'm going to go with Timekeeper's Whim, switching it up from my list because barely anybody has it and it's sick. And every time I whip it out, it's like, what the fuck is that? It's like, it's
You're
an
having a
honor.
whim.
Mine is Alpha Rampage.
Nice.
I wish I could impersonate mine, but it's New Horizon. That's all I
That was
got.
pretty good. That was pretty good. We don't have a fifth one. What do you guys want to do? Just like
And that's our fifth one. We'll go on to the next.
The gems. The gems.
Ace Stages.
Oh, yeah. All 3 gems.
I was gonna go with the paper playmat from Classic Battles.
Oh, that one's pretty good too. Whichever one that Alan uses. That's ripped up and insane.
My
Right.
fifth favorite playmat is the cloth Yu-Gi-Oh ones that ex-Yu-Gi-Oh players bring.
So many people use those.
God. They fold them in half too. It's so nice.
Yeah.
It's not weird.
Is it like a
So-
hipster thing? Like what is with that? If you're one of the people who does that, what's the point? Why do you do
Yeah.
that?
We have a question for you.
Yeah.
Some people
It's
like
why.
having fun.
It doesn't. The cards don't slide. It's like sticky and felty. I don't know. It's weird.
I think-
it's from a different game. I don't get it. Maybe there's a reason.
Part of
why.
it is you don't need a tube. You can just like crumple it up and throw it in your bag
I guess.
like a scarf. 'Cause it's scarf material. Moving on. Who's up?
I don't
Colin?
know.
Colin.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I'm trying to think. Do we want to just like skip ahead or no? I guess not. We're gonna
You
do
can.
our
Who
5.
cares? Do what we want.
I'm just wondering if we got so many we're not gonna get to. Let me see.
Yeah. Skip to whatever one calls your name.
Here we go. We're gonna do our 5 favorite Blake impressions.
Yes, that's the one I was looking at.
Here's mine. It starts with, "Here's a question," and then 20 minutes of just Blake telling you what he thinks about a subject without asking you a question, which I'll let you imagine in your mind. Blake, what's your favorite impression of you?
Probably one that paints me in a good light. I don't know if those exist, but we'll see. Oh, I'm Blake today.
My favorite Blake impersonation is when he leads with, it's something that, and then whatever it is. I just don't know many people who say it like that, but I like that he does.
I started saying it because I know Blake. He's affected my speech.
Nice. Thanks,
Hi,
Sam.
my name's Blake Meyer. I like Reinhard the Reckless Rampage. And I hate Patrick the Judge. I was
Nice.
born for this.
And here's the top 5. Got a gritty on.
Uzuri
Yeah.
is a hero in Outsiders.
Uzuri is a hero in Outsiders.
Or
Let's
any
go.
dance move Blake does, you know?
Yeah.
Where he's doing it.
Blake's
you know?
a good dancer.
He's a great dancer. Would take Blake to the club.
All right, that's our fucking 5 favorite other things that we like.
That was 4. We need
5
another
years.
one. That was 4.
Was it? Oh shit!
Yeah.
No, that was 4. 5. Blake, take it away. Whatever one you want.
Yeah, we're gonna look long and hard, see if we want something that is fun for the crew, or you want to do something fun. Let's say that one kind of sucks after a second. What are the 5 favorite cards you forgot about that happened in Fab and came back around? Because I think now that we actually are in year 5, the card pool is big enough where you don't have all of them memorized. And I will say, like, looking at these cards that are showing up in this Dio deck that's about to wreak havoc, Optical Monocle is just so much better than it should be. Of like, why can you do that 5 times? Like, that's crazy. Let me check the top card of my deck 5 times to find this item to blow you up. I'm pretty sure we're all gonna be like, when did this card come out? And it's gonna be one of like the oldest cards in that deck.
That's a good one. I'm going to go with Mangle. Hyper relevant right now. A card that hasn't seen much play. There was some, buckling blow, and Buckle got a little moment in the sun there with Lexi, but Mangle never really had its time to shine, so it's so back. Mangle is top 5 card I forgot about.
I'm going to have to go with Crazy Brew. There's literal other cards in the game that reference it, but somehow we still forgot about it. Probably because it's too crazy.
It was in Anthony Pham's AGE Players Championship winning deck list last year.
It's true.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
For me, I'm going to say Become the Arc Knight, because I was just looking at old cards and I was like, man, I forgot that card exists and it is dope. Everything about it.
It's cool.
That's a playmat I wish I had.
Totally. I somehow own 0 Runeblade playmats. I don't know how that ever happened.
Is this a good time to say that I have the Become the Arc Knight playmat, and it's really sick?
Oh, that's not true. I have 1 Nebula Blade. Thanks, Colin. I've been
I
playing that.
forgot-
You're right.
I forgot about you one.
Yeah, that's all right. Sorry. Signed twice, which is great.
And number 5. Wait.
Number 5, a card that we all forgot that is coming back around, that everyone's going to go, oh, holy moly, is Ira. And I wanted to forget that card. And good luck trying to see me at a local armory full of Iras and JARLs. I'm about to work out all of December and have my own sabbatical of frostbites, instead of getting my extremes. If you're gonna flick flack me and Command and Conquer me for 7 in the same, like, back and forth, I'm gonna cry.
Well, sounds like you're going to cry.
Great. We love it.
I love it.
We
We
love
were
it.
bored for this. All right, here we go. Taylor, why don't you take us away?
Okay. So I am the known game master of this group of ragtags, and Blake is a known non-listener of podcasts. So we are going to play Does Blake Know This? Nope. And this is a game where Colin and Zane will guess whether or not Blake knows this thing. I'm going to ask them, and then Blake will confirm. So it's just a game for Colin and Zane, and Blake is here to
Already lost?
keep them honest. No, you can't even win, so you can't
In
lose.
some
also.
ways, you won.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make
So
sure to
again-
listen real hard.
Does Blake know this? Nope. So
Nope.
Here we go. Question 1. Does Blake know who are the 4 original Battle Bros?
Nope.
I'm going to go no.
Double nopes. Blake, who are the 4 original Battle Bros?
Taylor,
Correct.
Isaac,
Correct.
Mitch,
Correct.
Thomas,
Incorrect. Very close, though. We were looking for Troy. We're looking for Troy.
Never heard the word Troy in my entire life. In
We're
Fab
still
context
looking
at
for
all.
Troy, to be honest.
I saw him the other day at roller derby.
Nice.
Okay, moving on.
What hero was he playing?
Bravo.
Nice.
Yeah, and Dash. Here we go. Question number 2. Does Blake know who Johnny Blue Razor is? Colin and Zane.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh. Blake, who is Johnny Blue Razor?
I think this is just Mitch's like username, or it's something from the movie we watched.
That's correct. Great job, Colin and Zane. 1 point
Great
each.
job, Blake.
Great job, Blake. Okay, number 3. Does Blake know how Zane is originally connected to the podcast?
No.
I'm going to say no.
Blake, do you know how Zane is originally connected to the podcast? If yes, how so?
Zane is on a Fab team, Stroopwafel, and you guys are brothers? You guys both know somebody in Fab.
Nope.
Zane, take it away.
Isaac and I played twice in one weekend, the opening, like that first big event at the Calling Vegas. We played in the Calling, and then we played at like the Tales of Aria, like first like draft event the next day. And then we just like, he like mentioned me on the podcast, and I had heard the podcast before. And then I like messaged Isaac that like, oh, I qualified for Nats. Like, are you going? Just because I didn't know anyone else in San Diego going. And he was like, yes, I need someone to room with. And I was like, me too. And so then Isaac and I roomed together after not knowing each other at all. And we both showed up with Ice Lexi in the same sleeves. And then we were like, wow, look at us.
What's crazy is I knew all of that and forgot. Like, how am I supposed to know?
Because if you listen to the podcast, bro.
It's been covered on the podcast.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, close.
There's more to it, but that's the beginnings.
That's
To be fair, I forgot about most of those details. And just saying has always been there in my retrospective history rewriting.
Perfect. Well, maybe nobody knows the answer to this next question. Also, the score is tied 2-2. Does Blake know who our first guest was?
Wait, I think the score should be 3-3. Aren't we all?
The score is 3-3.
Does Blake know who our first guest was?
Yep.
Of the whole podcast, or
The
is
whole
this
podcast.
version of it?
The whole 100 episodes of podcast.
I'm going to go with no.
Yes.
Ooh, wild card. Blake, who was our first guest on the podcast?
Is it Thomas Fresh?
No, that's a great guess, though. No, it is Robin, the developer of the Pitch Zone deck building website.
Damn. I thought it was
Dude,
Thomas.
that was in my top 5 guesses for that.
Zane pulls ahead 4-3. I got to put some crazy ones in there. Okay, next one, number 5. Does Blake know what Isaac's dog's name is? Yes or no?
No.
Colin's going
Nope.
with no.
I'll go with no.
2 no's. All right, Blake, stick it to him. Oh, he's thinking. Didn't come right away.
I'm going to guess Rover.
Classic dog name.
That's
Good guess.
incorrect. Isaac's dog's name is Shasta. Is Shasta.
Damn, that is a name I guess for things sometimes.
Shout out to Shasta.
Like the cola.
Or the very large mountain.
Probably the
RC
cola.
Shasta.
I did not know it was a mountain either. Blake doesn't know a lot.
Okay, here we go. Number 6. Does Blake know what was on our first playmat we printed for our listeners?
Yes.
We got a yes from Colin, a no from Zane. Blake, what's on that first play mat?
The Everfest potions, amulets, and trinkets, or what are they called? It's that thing.
Incorrect.
It's
That's
the
the
ice
second.
token?
That was the second playmat.
Nope. Our first play mat, which you put many of your personal items on in the room you stayed in, is Chain with Urser versus Arclight Sentinel and Prism.
I don't think I even know what that looks like. I did that?
Yeah, it's the mouse pad for my wife's computer that was in your room.
I also don't remember this.
Can you
at
send a
all.
picture of that? I don't remember that at all. I thought for sure I got it right.
Me too.
Colin, did you say yes? And
Yeah.
Blake said, and Zane said no?
Yeah.
Okay,
This is-
Zane.
Because I also thought it was the Trinkets playmat.
It definitely is not. Okay. Also, Maria suggested that I make this way more complicated and kind of a branching tree decision, so that like when a question was hard and Blake got it wrong, that then we would go into easier ones, and then kind of like the GREs.
It doesn't seem like you follow that at all.
No, I didn't. I was like, that's a great idea. But we're just going to go with these ones. Number 7. Does Blake know what the Wraith radio bonus episode was about?
No.
Yes.
Colin, text me real quick.
I don't even know this one, Blake.
How broadly can I be?
I'll give it to you if it's ballpark.
Flesh and blood.
Great job. That is technically correct, Colin. You get a point, I think. We did a giveaway for listeners, and their job was to create a radio commercial based in the world of Wraith. And we picked the best one and then played it on the episode for quite a while. And then I cut all of them together for a singular 8-minute episode where we're on the radio and you get to hear the commercial break where we just play them all. And I listened to it again today, and it's freaking hilarious.
Like
We're
it's Grand
talking
Theft Auto.
half off, cav off.
Yeah, dude.
Captain.
Captain's one was so good. I forget
It was
who
really
did that,
good.
but it was just like
Thor Mike's was great too. Like his voice he had for Chain. Go listen to it. Just it's in the RSS.
Oh, I have
feed.
already. I remember what you're talking
Yeah.
about. It's very
Okay. It's currently 5-6. Zane's lead. 2 questions to go. Number 8. Does Blake know what deck Colin brought to? Oh no, this is not the one I wanted. Nope, he's not going to know that. Does Blake know what event we met Colin the first time in real life at?
No.
yes.
I feel like I have to get this one right.
Do you know the event we met Colin at for the
Because
very
I've
first
been
time?
to every Vegas one. And I remember Colin being... I went to all 4 Vegas ones so far. I don't think a lot of people have been to all 4. Because why would you go to 4? And some people hadn't been to 1. But I don't remember being friends yet or knowing Colin yet for Vegas 1. And that was Tales of Aria stuff. But it's when you guys met, not me met. So
when
I'm
we
either...
met Colin for the first time in real life.
The question is, when did Blake meet Colin? And just like, no, when Blake met Colin.
I know when Blake met Colin. I guess we'll go Tyler Horspel wins Vegas, that Colin.
That's correct. The game is tied 6-6. Great job, Blake. You did it.
Let's go.
Last
You remember me from that too?
No, absolutely not. I was still kind of worried about COVID, so I think we were like in and out of there. We didn't linger too much. Anyway,
I
last
brought
question.
Reinar and played against Chain, and it was a very fun experience.
I played Chain, had a great time.
Yeah.
Last question. This is for all the marbles in our famous segment now. Does Blake know this? Nope. Number 9. Does Blake know what our last episode was called?
No.
Yes.
Let's send him home, Zane. Okay. We can do this. This is going to be hard. So this is episode 99. And what did we talk about last time? I was born for this?
Is that your final answer?
Number 99. I was born for this.
It's episode 99. Count your blessings.
Oh, so
Oh
close.
god, that one was great because I couldn't remember what it was either.
I was hoping to trick Blake there, and because we did the art draft, and that he would say, "Oh, Rosetta art draft," and that's technically not an episode, or else it would have been episode 100.
I'm
So
smarter
go out-
and
I'll go
dumber
out.
than you think. Yeah.
I'll go out having faith in Blake. That's okay. I'll take the loss on that.
Yeah. So
It wasn't
Colin,
that I didn't have faith in Blake. It was just like I titled it, I published it, and I couldn't remember. So I was like, "There's no way Blake does."
so Colin is our reigning "Does Blake Know This?" Nope champion. Congratulations, Colin.
Congrats, Colin.
You won.
I will
'cause I
send you
know-
your prize to your new house.
You'll deliver it in person, right?
Yes.
It's
If I
just
get
'cause
the address.
I know Blake so well, you know.
Perfect.
It's a gold foil blaze fire mind.
Thanks for playing. Okay.
That was
Let's
great.
move
Thank
along
you, Taylor,
here. You're welcome.
for doing all the research.
That was very fun, Taylor. I don't know who Troy is at all. Is there any explanation behind Troy?
Yes, it's all in episodes 1 through 30.
What about Robin? Is Robin a real person or is that made up?
No, that's a real person. That's like episode 10 or something like that.
Before February, there was other sites, and
FabDB and then the
FabDB.
pitch zone.
the pitch zone. Yeah, pitch zone was
FabDB got the shit knocked out of it. If you look at FabDB right now, I don't know if you saw this tweet, but like everybody's reminiscing on Fab, and not that I'm trying to punch this person when they haven't shown up in Fab for 5 years, but there was the tabletop or table Fab TCG or whatever, and they did a Oldham deck tech that is so fresh in my mind because it dropped like literally a week into Tales of Aria, and some dude was like, I've already spent 350 hours on the deck, here's the list, and none of the cards made it to the actual final Oldham list. It's so bad and so completely off base, but it's so funny to go back and watch and hear him talk about like Forged for War gets you so much value. It's literally insane. You just want to be like, loser.
Jesus Christ.
great. Well, shout out to that guy.
Yeah, I don't think he plays Fab anymore because of people like me, probably.
Last 5 things we like. Let's go. Here we go.
Yeah. All right. We're jumping to 5 favorite hero names. 5 favorite hero names. I'll start us off with my first love in Fab, which is Chain, Bound by Shadow. Just an awesome name.
Love that. I am definitely going with Riptide, Lurker of the Deep. Definitely the most badass hero name ever.
I'm going with Viscerai Runeblood just because, like, I don't know. It sounds like a name you already knew, and it's tight.
I'm gonna switch it up, and instead of Prism, I'm gonna say Prism Sculptor of Light. I think that's like a crazy Sculptor of Arc Light. That's pretty sick. Of like, I'm sculpting light. Like, I've never sculpted light before, dude. That's something I could never do unless I had like a soul. She's like the OG. It's cool. I've never thought of Sculptor of Light before.
All right, and for our last one, I'm going to go with Uzuri Switchblade.
Nice.
Which is a bit on the nose, but we like it.
Shout out to Genus What You Need. He deserves better.
Okay, me? We're going with 5 favorite James White polos. And he has more than one color of this, so we're going with pink. We're going with pink polo. Favorite James White polo.
I'll go with that soft baby blue.
Ooh.
Sometimes he needs to reset and just goes to white.
White on white.
You know, I'm partial to that creamsicle orange.
And for the 5th one for the podcast, we're just going with a different shade of pink. Yeah. Double pink.
All right. I guess it's my turn now. I guess we're going to go with 5 favorite card names that we like. Card names. This one's easy because it's 2 sounds put together. Arg and Smash.
I love that. I think also something that I literally never shut up about is like Sonata. There's 3 different ones of them. Phantasmia, Sonata Arcanix, Sonata. What's the last one? Sonata Galaxia. I think
Sonata Arcata.
Sonata Arcata. Holy shit, new card. Hopefully you guys get that in your for your podcast.
Arcata. Sonata Arcata.
Yeah. I like sonatas a lot because I think it does more than just the name. It evokes a musical thing.
Nice.
I'm going to go right back to the well. If you watch the art draft, I raved about it there, but Snuff Out, I think, might have jumped to be number 1 as my favorite card name.
Oh. I will never forget it because I thought it was hilarious. Smash with Big Tree is my favorite, I think.
Very good. All right, next up is the next category. Wait, who's next?
Swing Fist Think Later is another cool one.
Okay. Sure.
I think this is the part where I can be like, what I really care about for my 5 years of Fab, of something I would want other people to maybe not, don't clip it, but like take this of the positive for all the negatives I say. The favorite draft format, Welcome to Wraith, is so good that I think it's legitimately like springboarded this game of like anytime someone plays Welcome to Wraith, all the cards fit together so well. We have 2 heroes doing this with this. We have 2 heroes doing this a little different with that. Pummels fit on one side, but pummels are blocked by unmovable. Sink belows will stop your razor reflexes. I love how much it interconnects, and all of those things are so well done because pummels hit my club or my hammer. Razor hits my dagger or my sword. I love everything about it. I would play Welcome to Wraith draft for probably the next 20 years of my life and still find some really fun stuff to do with it.
Yellow Bellow.
I totally agree, Blake. WTR is so sick. Perfect. Honestly insane that was like the first set. Like, to nail it so hard. The only like thing that like literally the only flaw in the whole system was drone of brutality, and even that like wasn't even too bad. All right, mine is gonna be Outsiders. I think I love Assassin. I love Ranger. I enjoyed playing, Katsu in that format too. And just every time I played that format, there was such a fun like angle of like fatigue is relevant. It's not the only way to play it. Be aware of it though. Card economy matters. Do you remember your pitch stack? Like all these like angles of attack that are like the ways I like to approach the game.
Tight. I'm going with Tales of Aria for mine. I think historically I've said Monarch, but having played it a bit more recently, I was like, maybe not as good. And we just drafted so much Tales back in the day that it was, I don't know, it just was so fun. I liked playing all of the heroes and all of the archetypes. So, yeah, it's great.
I am going with Heavy Hitters because Clash is fun and Wager is fun. And it was a fun format. Great job, A+. Blake, number 5.
I think I forgot to look at where it is, but we don't have it. I think if I had to pick one, am I doing Misspell or am I doing Rosetta? Or am I doing Misspell or am I doing Rosetta? I'm looking to see when people are shaking their heads or not. Am I doing Misspell or am I doing Rosetta?
I didn't draft either, so I don't know.
So Misspell is by far our favorite 5th one. It's very cool to get chi. It's a thing where you're like, oh, do I have enough chi or not? And I think it's the first time I realized I can play ninja. I just grab all the reds and just literally beat the shit out of somebody before they can do a bunch of auras. And it's like, oh, this is pretty good. Chikara.
Kakara.
Are you saying Chikara wrong?
Jakarta.
Chi.
Shout out to Brian Delatorre.
Whisper out to him even.
All right. And now to close us down, the last of the 5 groups of 5 to count to 100. The most important topic we've ranked thus far. What are our favorite box arts? And I'm going to start us off with Part the Misfail. That blue box was beautiful. It fit the theme. It just like looked right. The font was cool. I loved it.
This one's easy for me. Rosetta is, I think, clearly the best box art we've had so far. Goes hard, pops on the shelf. You're like, whoa, what is that? Oh, it's Rosetta. Sick.
What is that? Oh. They said, no, what's that one next to it? It's Dusk Till Dawn. It's dope. It looks like a fucking stained glass window.
Pretty good.
More like Dust Till Yawn because we don't get anything good out of it.
Except the new Prism.
The best bot. What is it? The best art box. The best box art.
The Bex Ockbot bot.
The best box art is
3 hours.
Heaviest Hitter, and what I love about that is it definitely feels like it's 90s level graphics of like some of those art is crazy. They look so blocky compared to their regular art. Not that that's a bad thing. That could be a fun thing. And it just feels like it's like EverQuest from 1994. And you're like, ooh, what is this? Heavy Hitters.
All right, and for the last one, I'm taking Monarch. It was the first box to really branch out and do something unusual. The first 3 kind of fit the same flavor, kind of design language. And then Monarch was very unique. Got the light and the shadow either side. There's a lot of interesting things going on. A lot of us joined around this time, so
That's crazy. You have a box of Monarch just like right there.
I have all the boxes here now. I finally updated it, one of each.
Nice.
Wow. Incredible.
Enclosed is your at-home kit. is one first edition limited booster box and 2 foil promo cards that are never going to be worth more than $6.
Eclipse
It's a lot, Monarch.
existence.
You're freaking addicted to me to some bullshit where I met friends and stuff.
That's it. We did it.
We did it. That's 100. If you counted, thank you.
Hopefully we did it. We might
Special
not have.
big treat. All right. Here we are. The end of the podcast, basically. But
Just
wait.
this episode, not forever.
Oh, yeah. No, we have a big announcement. We're done. We're quitting podcasting.
Just kidding.
We're going into live television.
That'd be sick.
Taylor's going to get us on his local access channel.
Yeah.
And it's going to be dope. We'll just do this in person every week. We could fly up every week to Arcata, do it in person, fly home. Seems like a good plan.
People don't know what it's actually called up here, and they're going to be like, what the fuck? I live in Eureka. The airport is the Arcata airport.
That's true. And his address is beep. All right. We do have one last special thing. All the real ones who are still here, thank you for listening to us ramble on about things we like. We have a special announcement for in celebration of to commemorate, to do something fun. We have commissioned the great artist Hayley Neighbors, our friend of the show, local player down here, amazing illustrator and artist, LSS, get in there. We had her create us our own little bit of art that we're going to be putting on some stuff, maybe like if we're talking about a hoodie, maybe like a nice hoodie. Not one of those see-through ones. Something, we'll do some merch. And if you support us in the Patreon, we'll get you in there. You can order some. And if you don't and you really want one, you just let us know and maybe we'll think about it. But here it is, live premiere. Boom. It's us. The family's all together. For those who are listening, stop, go to YouTube, listen, or view this portion. But if we'll describe, Taylor, how about you describe it since I've been talking for so long?
Oh, sure. It's 4 panels, talking heads that represent us, but as our favorite heroes. So I've got an Arachne going on. Colin's got Kano. Zane has got New, and Blake's got Reinar. And the background of each of them kind of features some of the prominent things you see behind us now. So it's going to look super dope on a hoodie. And Hayley did like a freaking awesome job. Love it.
I love it so much.
Zane has bad internet.
Yeah,
Or
Zane
New
has
has
bad
internet.
Zane/New's bad internet is great. But also the skateboards in there is just really fun.
I like it that she added basketballs in the background for me. Appreciate that.
I've got too many books and fire hands and dope hair.
Mine
And
has
Blake's-
a picture of a naked guy for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. That was eons ago.
Is he still back there?
It was eons ago.
Hell yeah. Well, shout out to Hayley. Thank you so much for doing this for us. Really excited to print this out on some stuff. Yeah, so if you're interested, check out Hayley's. I'll put her artist info below. She does great work, has done a lot of stuff for like AGE and other local people. And Blake, she did your
Uzuri.
Uzuri altar, right?
Challengers Missouri, yes. that was
Dude,
Hayley
Challengers
Neighbors.
Missouri. Probably the dopest thing I've ever seen.
It's
so
really good.
It's a good idea. Yeah, it's really great.
The idea is fantastic. The execution was great. But yeah, that's it. That's 100 episodes.
Season 1 of the Attack Action Podcast comes to a close to open the door for season 2 of the Attack Action Podcast.
All our episodes are 3 hours long now.
Pankaj will join us for episode 101. Finally, a real player and confidant will join us and teach us what we need to know.
A
Hey,
new
come
host
on.
approaches.
Me and Zane now have won ProQuests. We're legit.
That's true. And Blake has won other things. And I sometimes play the game.
I've won James White's heart.
I think I made James White mad.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for being here. There's no great way to sign off ever. So, goodbye.
Bye. Bring the dogs back out. I'm Birdie. I ate some cat shit. It was great.
Someone click the stop already.